Hello and welcome to another edition of Gresham Grable's Baseball Live here at Osland Field. I'm Evan Giddings coming to you here in Gresham, Oregon on the campus of Mount Hood Community College, home of the Saints at the always beautiful Osland Field as the Gray Wolves get set to take on the Walla Sweets in the second game of this three-game series. The Sweets coming into the game are 16-12, and your Gresham Gray Wolves are 10-15, 5.5 games back in the Southern Division of the West Coast League. And so as the Gresham Gray Wolves get set to take the field, we'll go through our starting lineups this evening. Batting first for the Gresham Gray Wolves and playing second base, it'll be number 9, Curtis Perrin. Batting second and playing right field for Gresham, number 6, Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. Batting third and playing third base, number 28, Connor Zickafoose. Batting fourth and hitting in the cleanup spot, playing first base, number 27, Ryan Rodriguez. Batting fifth and playing center field, number 13, Ryan Smith. Batting sixth and DHing this evening for the Gray Wolves, number 33, Will Matheson. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 32, Josh Adams. Followed by the 8-hole and doing the catching tonight for the Gray Wolves, it'll be Ben Clanky, number 22. And finally, batting ninth and playing shortstop, number 1, Michael Breen, with number 7, Aaron Schaup on the mound for the Gresham Gray Wolves. We also want to welcome you to a particularly special broadcast that falls on the birthplace of this great country, July 4th. As baseball, along with the 4th of July, generally woven together, or maybe it's the other way around. Whatever the equation is, generally, the result is clear, as the 4th of July and the national pastime pair perfectly. And the Continental Congress naturally didn't know this when it adopted the Declaration of Independence in the heart of summer of 1776, excuse me. But here's to happy coincidences, because baseball at any level has seen its share of memorable moments on this nation's birthday. And so now we're just about set to go here at Osland Field as Aaron Schaup is finished with his warm-up pitches, and he's just about ready to start this thing off. Leadoff hitter Jaron Dunn is to the plate as we get our first sighting of fireworks out here at Osland Field. There's probably going to be plenty of those out here tonight all around the campus. As Aaron Schaup has the first sign. Kicks and fires. First pitch misses just a bit outside. Ball 1. Schaup making his 6th appearance this season and 5th start. Had 1 appearance in non-league competition, but all 5 of his appearances in actual summer league play have been starts as he misses high and inside here to Duran, 2-0. A 4.2 ERA coming in, a 1-2 record for the 5'11", 205-pound left-hander from St. Martin's University. As here's a strike right there in the outside corner to Duran, the first of the ball game. Official first pitch time was 7:02 p.m., so just a tad early there for all you tuning in. And now the 2-1 pitch on the way, as that one runs inside off the elbow there of Duran. That's going to be a hit by pitch as he will take his base. Not too many free bases handed out in this series so far, as last night the Gresham Gray Wolves unfortunately fell to the Sweets in the first game of this series 5-3. A total of 10 hits, 6 for the Gray Wolves and 4 for the Walla Sweets. However, like I mentioned, the free bases, only a total of 5 for the Gray Wolves and 4 for the Sweets. So not much on either side, as now Schaup fires a strike into the second batter of the ball game for the Walla Sweets, Chris McCready. Gabe Benavides was out on the bump last night for the Gray Wolves. Went 8 strong innings, only allowed 4 hits, 5 runs, unfortunately, 3 of them unearned. So 2 earned runs against Benavides. Is now a quick pickoff attempt over to first. That's going to get by the first baseman Rodriguez. And Duran, he's rounding second, trying to go to the third. Rodriguez, the throw all the way to third base, and it is not nearly in time as Duran is in with a head-first slide. And I guess the ruling there is going to be an E3 on Rodriguez, as the throw was a bit high, but definitely playable there for Rodriguez. So Duran will advance to third on the error. And I believe the official scoring an E3, and that's what we'll have to go with here, as now the Walla Sweets, just 5 pitches into this ball game, have a runner on third base and nobody out. So now Schaup, kind of a small, stocky left-hander, a good breaking ball. And that's what he'll have to use here as he tries to bend one over the outside edge but misses. 1-1 here to McCready. Shoup actually had his best start of the season in his last outing on June 27th against the Yakima Valley Pippins, as this one is now hit over to the right side, playable there for the second baseman Curtis Perrin, as he will go to first base in time for the out, but not before the Walla Sweets get another run. This one possibly unearned here against Aaron Shoup, as McCrady's retired 4-3 here, one away. And mistakes have simply just compiled over these last 2 days, or at least starting early in this game for the Grey Wolves, and particularly last night. That is exactly what we saw. 3 errors surrendered by the Grey Wolves defense, as this one misses low here. A fastball to the third batter for the Sweets, Willie McIver. There was a missed fly ball out in right field by Josh Adams. A dropped, officially a pass ball, but a drop ball by Matt Cairo behind the plate. And also an error in the field by Zach Johnson as he threw it down the right field line. As this fastball's in for a strike on the outside corner here to McIver, 1-1. So the Grey Wolves and Justin Barkus, the head coach, understand that they need to shore things up on the defensive end as Shoup buries in a strike here to McIver. Looked like an off-speed pitch that time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ended up losing 5-3 like I mentioned, but 3 of those runs, of course, unearned. As after the game, Barkus argued that his team, at the very least, should have had a 1-1 ball game going into the 6th inning, or rather the 7th inning, as this curveball misses low and in the dirt, 2-2. Sometimes frustrating, as it seems like the bats have been a little more consistent for the Grey Wolves, as this one is lofted out to shallow right field, playable there for Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. as he takes a step in and makes the catch. 2 outs here in the top of the first. And so that'll bring the first baseman for the Sweets batting cleanup this evening, Cole Rutherford. That's where he was last night. McIver and Rutherford, kind of the staples in the middle of this lineup, as he was 0 for 2 last night, but did have an RBI and a run. In fact, he reached on one of those 3 errors. The error by Zach Johnson that came in the 4th inning, as Shoup misses here with a curveball. Might have missed inside that time as Klenke did a double pump. He thought that one should have been a strike. Nonetheless, ball 1. Tim Gerkman behind the plate and Andrew Burks in the field. As the second pitch now on the way to Rutherford, laced down the left field line, and that one is off the scoreboard as it gets foul. A long out there for Aaron Shoup, as I believe it was Cole Rutherford last night that hit one down the left field line, as well as Mark Cardinale for the Gresham Grey Wolves. Both of those players had an opportunity to get out of this ballpark, as this one is laced out to deep left center field, but on the run and on the move is Ryan Smith, as he will make the catch for the 3rd out of this inning. So a nice play there to retire the side, but not before the Walla Sweets pick up a run, an unearned run that gives them the lead 1-0 here at Osland Field. So we'll take a quick break here on Grey Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings, bringing you Gresham Grey Wolves baseball here on the 4th of July. And again, I'd like to apologize. We do not have any commercial spots for this game, as the technical difficulties ensue here at Gresham Ford Media Booth. Nonetheless, we hope you'll bear with us as we go to the bottom of the first here at Osland Field. And so now we return to action here at Osland Field on the campus of Mount Hood Community College with the Gresham Gray Wolves coming to the plate in this bottom of the first inning. Curtis Perrin due up, after him Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. and Connor Zickafoose here in this bottom of the first. They will be facing Chris Murphy, a left-hander for the Walla Walla Sweets, as the first pitch on the way here to Perrin misses outside 1-0. Perrin, a 6', 175-pound left-hander from Granada Hills, California. He'll be attending University of San Diego in the fall as a freshman as he fires a strike over the outside edge, 1-1. And the scouting report, 90 to 94 miles an hour from the left side, as he's a very hard thrower, not necessarily commanding that fastball all the time, a little bit sporadic throughout his start so far as he misses inside here to Perrin, 2-1. Also on a pitch count tonight, as we heard from the opposing team and Frank Mutz, the head coach, as this fastball misses high and outside, 3 balls and a strike here to Perrin. It's going to be about 75 pitches this evening for Chris Murphy. So hopefully, if you're a Walla Walla Sweets fan, going to be able to utilize that effectively, but not a great start here as he misses high and outside here to Perrin, and a 5-pitch walk here to begin the ball game for the Gray Wolves.
Right fielder, number 6, Jeffrey Mitchell Jr.
So 1 walk. He's only walked 8 on the season in 20 innings. There's a 1-1 record of 4.05 ERA in 5 starts, now making his 6th. Like I mentioned, 20 innings pitched, 33 strikeouts, however, so definitely that K-to-9 ratio up there, especially with the amount of innings he's able to throw. Now a quick pickoff attempt over to first base, and in safely is Perrin with a head-first slide. In fact, the longest outing he has had came on June 19th. That was, of course, his only victory he's achieved. That was against Bellingham, went 5 2/3. As this fastball misses outside here, first pitch to Mitchell. Also hasn't given up a lot of hits this season either, just 12 in his 20 innings. So he's able to keep runners off the base paths as he catches the outside edge with a fastball here, 1-1. Mitchell Jr. last night was 2 for 3, the only member of the Gray Wolves to collect multiple hits. Also an RBI. As now Murphy, a long look over to first base. Kicks and fires here. And climbed the ladder did Mitchell Jr. Swings through a fastball up around the letters. And it's a ball and 2 strikes here to the Gray Wolves right fielder. Mitchell Jr., of course, leading the Gray Wolves in multiple offensive categories, most notably batting average, batting .358 through his 21, now 22 games played. As Murphy misses off the outside edge and low here to even up the count at 2-2. 29 hits for Mitchell Jr., 11 runs scored. That's third most on the team. Also leads the team in stolen bases with 8, or rather tied for the lead with Ryan Smith, as this one is chopped over the right side and fought off out of play. I'm not quite sure what we got brewing down in the bullpen for the Sweets, but I did mention how Murphy is going to be on that pitch count limit in 75 pitches. And so someone down there already lightly tossing as now Murphy fires a fastball that misses high to run the count full. In his last outing, Murphy against Bend went 4 innings, only allowed 1 earned run. And, of course, his record probably going to see a lot of no decisions if he's not able to go 5 innings, as he now fires a fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner. Mitchell Jr. thought it was ball 4, but nonetheless will have to head back to the dugout as Tim Gerkman rings him up on a fastball spotted nicely on the outside edge. And so now it'll be Connor Zickafoose to the plate. Had a pinch hit appearance last night as he came in and drew a walk. At the time, that was against Ryan Johnston. That was kind of that late inning rally that the Gray Wolves tried to put together, as this pickoff attempt over to first base is not in time. Going into that 8th inning, Walla Walla had a 5-1 lead, in which the Gray Wolves were able to post 2 runs, as Zickafoose now takes a fastball high and outside, 1-0. Until that bottom of the 6th inning, when Ryan Johnson, who was actually hitting in that game, was batting in the DH position for the Walla Walla Sweets, came in and not only hit for himself, but also came in and pitched. Ended up going 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs, as the Gray Wolves collected 3 hits in a row during that bottom of the 6th inning as Murphy fires a fastball that misses here. 2 balls and no strikes to Connor Zickafoos. Zickafoos on the season batting .281. Hasn't necessarily seen consistent at-bats in terms of the amount of games that he started. As this one, a broken bat pop-up on the infield, and Kauhaha, he'll drop it right at second base, but will step on the bag to catch the force. So Perrin is forced out at first base, or rather second base, and Zickafoos reaches on the fielder's choice. Kind of an interesting play there. The shortstop, Kobe Kauhaha, looked like he was going to try and catch the ball in the air and then go to first base to get the double up with Curtis Perrin, who alertly stayed at first base, kind of in no man's land there. Either way was going to be out. So I guess in that situation, the Gray Wolves got a little lucky and were able to keep, at the very least, this inning alive with Ryan Rodriguez stepping to the plate. First pitch on the way here to Rodriguez is a fastball that catches the inside edge, 0-1. And so Curtis Perrin is retired 6 unassisted there at second base, while Zickafoos now at first base. Ryan Rodriguez now second pitch on the way. And curveball swung through, dropped by the catcher there, Hayden Doerr, as Zickafoos alertly sees the ball and will head to second base. So advances on the ball in dirt. Will get a call as to whether or not that is a pass ball or a wild pitch. Likely a pass ball, and that's the official ruling there. So Zickafoos will head to second base. And really one of the only defensive mishaps so far in this series for the Swedes. Can't point to too many other mental nor especially physical mistakes. As now the 0-2 on the way. Fastball runs high here to Rodriguez as he gets out of the way of that one. As Rodriguez only batting .218, although has seen a lot of action due to his ability to play multiple positions. We've seen him primarily at first, but also has flashed some prowess in the outfield. A more athletic big man that gives Justin Barkas a lot of options off the bench. And now the 1-2 chopped over into the dugout there. Heads up Michael Breen, as he's the one that comes up with that baseball. A chopper towards the third base line as Rodriguez stays alive here. A ball and 2 strikes. And as for that put-away pitch, we've seen the fastball, especially up in the zone now twice. Went upstairs to Mitchell Jr., and now to Rodriguez as he fires a fastball that misses low and in, 2-2. So 1-0 the Swedes lead as they were able to capture a run, an unearned run in the top half of this first inning. Jaron Duran, the second baseman, was hit by a pitch on the third pitch of the ball game, and then after a failed pickoff attempt that was dropped by Rodriguez, was able to come around and score on an RBI groundout. So now Rodriguez, this one laced into the opposing dugout. The Walla Swedes had to jump out of the way of that one. It looked like, in fact, might have got off the hip of one of those pitchers down there. Thought I saw number 13 duck out of the way of that one, as someone's got a hold of that baseball. Nonetheless, 2 balls entering each dugout here off the bat of Ryan Rodriguez. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. And a deuces situation here as Murphy now has his sign, checks the runner at second. Now checks a second time and kicks and fires. Fastball tapped over to the right side, going to get out of play as Rodriguez continues to stay alive here and try and extend this bottom of the first inning. So now the catcher, Hayden Doerr, he'll go out to the mound and have a little chat with his soon-to-be freshman in college. Like I mentioned, at University of San Diego. One of the main starters this season for the Walla Walla Swedes, having made 5 starts. There's only 2 more pitchers, and one of them we saw last night that have more starts, and Jackson Weig, along with their other starter, Easton Lucas, who very well could see him tomorrow night. As now Doerr's back behind the plate, and Murphy has the ball, has his sign, and the pitch on the way. Fastball swung through on the outside corner. Rodriguez might have chased ball 3 there, but nonetheless goes down swinging. And so that concludes the first here at Osland Field as we have a 1-0 ball game. The Swedes leave the Grey Wolves as we'll take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
The shortstop, number 5, Kobe.
And so now coming to the plate here in the top of the second inning for the Walla Walla Sweets, it'll be Kobe Kauhaha, followed by Nick Nyquist and Hayden Dewar. As we saw Kauhaha off the bench last night, pinch hitting in the late innings as the first pitch now on the way. There's a fastball that misses low and outside. Here 1-0. He came off the bench, went 0 for 1, as he's only batting 192 on the season. And now the second pitch, a fastball that catches the outside edge here to even the count at a ball and a strike. Although in his past week, Kauhaha definitely earning some more at-bats as he's hitting .313 through this past week and has seen some increase in playing time. Now shows bunt, tries to drag, but kicks it foul down the third base line. As the third baseman for the Grey Wolves, Connor Zickafoose, will pick it up. And Zickafoose actually we haven't seen too many times over at the hot corner. I believe just his third appearance over at third base. We've generally seen him either in the DH position and, of course, off the bench, but also at first base. Although not too many at-bats being handed around over there at first with plenty of competition. This ball chopped up the middle. Michael Breen cannot come up with it. Tries to go to first as he recovers, but not in time. As Michael Breen, that was a chopper, definitely going to go down as an E6. As Kauhaha is now aboard to begin this second inning, and the defensive woes continue here for the Gresham Grey Wolves on the 4th of July.
The third baseman, number 25, Nick Nyquist.
I don't know, Breen especially frustrated with himself on that play. Maybe he just tried to get it out a little too quickly. Kauhaha definitely with some speed going up the first base line, and a hard 90 was going to make it a close play regardless. But that chopper was towards the middle of the field to his glove hand side, just seemed to pop out. And unfortunately now a runner at base. First pitch now on the way here to Nyquist is a changeup that catches the heart of the plate. 0-1. As Nyquist this season batting .256 through 26 games played. So a frequent of the starting lineup as Schaup misses with a fastball outside here, 1-1. 21 hits so far. A team-high 11 RBIs, as well as a team-high 16 walks. So obviously a guy that's going to put the ball in play. Just 8 strikeouts. And now the runner's off. Hit and run as this one is skied out to center field. Giving chase is Ryan Smith. Now is under it as he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. And Kauhaha will have to hustle back to first base as the throw comes in. But Michael Breen will hold up there at second base. As a nice play out there in center field. A ranging play made there by Ryan Smith for the first out of this second inning. It seemed like that ball carried on him a little bit as he hit it out and was kind of jogging towards that ball, slicing a little bit towards right center. And I think once he saw the ball at its apex, understood he needed to hustle up a little bit. But, of course, very fast out in center field, able to cover a lot of ground and make the play. And so now, pitch to the plate, throw in, and a throw down to second base, and it is in time. Ben Klenke throws out Kobe Kauhaha on the first pitch to Hayden Dewar. And there's quickly 2 outs on 2 pitches. So after the start of this inning looked to be going the way that simply the games have gone for the Grey Wolves in a negative direction, Nick Nyquist flies out on a hit and run, and Kobe Kauhaha is thrown out by Ben Klenke on back-to-back pitches. And so now the second pitch on the way to Hayden Dewar is a ball low, so the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Clayton Ayers waiting on deck as this one is a fastball that misses up and out, 2-1. And so now Schaup has his sign. Klenke set up on the inside corner. He spots it nicely just right there, as that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dewar only batting 196. Seeing a lot of action behind the plate. Along with Willie McIver as he chops this one down the third baseline, but going to hook foul right to the third base coach, Zach Moots, as he'll pick it up, toss it in the dugout, and we'll redo this count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And so now Dewar back in the box. Schaup has his sign from the windup, kicks and fires, and this one is popped up and will get out of play over to the right, back onto 17th Street just about. Hopefully we didn't see a lot of action. A lot of people out and about, of course, on this 4th of July. A lot of barbecues I saw on the drive up here as the 2-2 pitch now on the way. Swung on and missed. One upstairs with a fastball, got him to chase as Hayden Dewar is down on strikes. As Shelf faces the minimum, gets a little help from Clanky after an error allowed Kauhaha to reach, but nonetheless, an unofficial 1-2-3 inning there for Aaron Shelp as he'll get his team back in the dugout. As for the offense coming up for the Grey Wolves, it'll be Ryan Smith, Will Matheson, and Josh Adams due up here in the bottom of the second. And so we'll take a break here on Grey Wolves Live as the Grey Wolves trail the Walla Walla Sweets 1-0. Yeah, so now we're ready to start this bottom half of the second inning here on July 4th between the Gresham Grey Wolves and the Walla Walla Sweets. A 1-0 ball game. The Sweets lead it as Chris Murphy's just about done with his warm-up pitches and Ryan Smith gets ready to step in against the Walla Walla Southpaw. Ryan Smith last night was 1 for 3. As of late has been one of the most dependable hitters on the Grey Wolves offense as he takes strike one over the inside edge. Batting .313, but that average has really jumped as of late. As now the second pitch on the way is fouled up and out to the right side. Going to get out of play here 0-2. The past week, Ryan Smith has seen action in every single ball game, batting .350 with possibly an even more impressive .458 on-base percentage. Now finds himself in a hole here 0-2 against Murphy, who now fires a fastball up and in. We'll see if he goes. And the field umpire, Andrew Burks, did rule that he did go around. It looked borderline to me and could have gone either way. And Ryan Smith, unfortunately, did not agree, but nonetheless is going to go down on strikes. The third strikeout for Chris Murphy so far this evening. And that's the story. We saw back in one of his starts earlier in the season, in fact, went 4 innings, struck out 8, as now Will Matheson will step to the plate and takes ball 1 up and in. So now Murphy from the windup kicks and fires. Fastball misses low and in here 2-0. As that start I was alluding to, in fact, was his last one on June 29th. Went 4 innings, 1 earned run, 2 hits, and 8 strikeouts. As now has his sign. And a fastball that catches the outside edge, says the home plate umpire Tim Gerkman, 2 balls and a strike. Has reached double-digit strikeouts once. That was back his only win, in fact. That's when he went 5 2/3 innings, as now he misses with a changeup up and outside to Matheson, 3-1. Struck out 10 back on June 19th. And the only time he hasn't reached 5 strikeouts, even with the amount of innings he's pitched, as he spots a fastball low at the knees on the outside corner to run the count full. The only time he hasn't reached 5 strikeouts is when he came in relief against Yakima Valley. Or rather, that was to start the game. Pitched 2 innings, allowed 4 earned runs. As he misses with this fastball, Will Matheson draws himself a 1-out walk. in that game only reached 2 strikeouts.
32, Josh Adams.
Although his whip to this point is exactly 1, or was so coming into this ball game, as he does a great job at keeping the runners off base. Unfortunately, because, or at least unfortunately for the Sweets, because he is an incoming freshman at a Division I program, their requirements have him slated at a 75 pitch count. As now Josh Adams taps this one off, back off the screen here, 0-1. And yesterday at Osland Field, it was a bit of a tough game for Josh Adams. Went 0 for 4 with a strikeout, but really one of the more pivotal plays out in right field. Missed a fly ball that ended up costing his team 2 runs. And now laces this one, but right to the second baseman, Duran. To go to Kauhaha at shortstop on to first base in time as they turn the 4-6-3 double play to end this bottom of the second inning. So after a walk for Matheson, quickly erased by a ground ball double play here from Josh Adams that will end this inning, and we'll go to the top of the third here at Osland Field. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Sweets, Clayton Ayers, Nick Vigo, before turning it over to the top and Jaron Duran. After this break, the Gresham Grey Wolves trail 1-0. And so now set to begin this third inning here at Osland Field. 1-0, the Walla Sweets have the lead over the Gresham Grey Wolves as Clayton Ayers prepares to step into the box. DHing tonight for the Sweets as Aaron Schaup back on the mound for his third inning of work. And the first pitch on the way here to Ayers is laced into deep center field. Giving chase is Ryan Smith, and he will make the catch. Just a few steps in front of the warning track. Ryan Smith with a great first step out towards left center field, able to hawk that one down. And Clayton Ayers is retired for the first out of the third. That ball, a fastball right over the heart of the plate, stung by Ayers. But anytime you got Ryan Smith out there in center field, going to be able to make something happen defensively, as we've already seen him make now 3 putouts, all 3 of them impressive in their own right. As now Nick Vigo will step to the plate here with 1 out. First pitch on the way to him, fastball taken right through the heart of the plate for a strike, 0-1. As Vigo didn't get the start last time. In fact, marked on point streak as a pitcher as he pops this one up and back out of play quickly, 0-2. Batting just 160 in his 9 games played. Of course, now getting his 10th appearance. In 25 at-bats, just 4 hits, although 4 runs scored. And now the 0-2 pitch chopped off the ankle that time as it's ruled foul. Aaron Schaup was on the hop for that one. So now no balls and 2 strikes still here to the 9-hole hitter for the Sweets. Jaron Duran, of course, the leadoff hitter, waiting on deck. As Tim Gerkman's going to want to check that ball, will deliver a new one out to Schaup. As it looked like he might have even capped that one. Possibly some scratches there on that piece of leather. As Aaron Schaup has himself a new one. 0-2 pitch on the way. Changeup misses low and outside there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vigo also with a couple of walks, however, has been prone to strikeouts, 8 of them so far this season, as he takes a curveball, doesn't quite bend back over the outside edge. Clanky thought he might have had that one with a nice frame, but it will even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And so now Schaup from the windup There's a fastball that misses up around the letters. So after an 0-2 count, is able to fight one off and now works himself 3 balls in a row. His Shop is going to have to bear down here. Doesn't want to let this at-bat get away from him. He's already surrendered 1 free base. That was a hit by pitch to the man on deck. Is the payoff pitch on the way here? Fastball, ring him up, strike 3. Inside corner, beautifully placed over the edge right there by Aaron Schaup. And now there's 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the third. That's his second strikeout on the evening. Got Hayden Dorr to end the second, and now hoping that Jaron Duran could be the end of the third inning. Duran, of course, came around to score, and that's that 1 run that we have on the board right here as a breaking ball catches the outside edge here, 0-1. Reached on a hit by pitch in a 2-1 count, and then there's a quick pickoff attempt over to first base by Schaup. That was missed by Rodriguez, some sort of misplay over there, as this one, a slow chopper over to the right side of the infield. Incoming the second baseman, Perrin, glove flip over to first base, not in time. That would have been a slick-handed play there by Curtis Perrin as he was charging hard, but Jaron Duran, at the top of the lineup for a reason, as he has himself an infield single to extend this top of the third. So now Chris McCready coming to the plate. The Walla center fielder's 0 for 1 so far in his first at-bat, grounded out to Perrin, the second baseman back in the first inning. Sporting number 55. That's one of the larger numbers, I believe, for the Sweets, as Schaup misses with a curveball outside there. 1-0. Outfield play, McCready straight up with 2 outs. Infield pinching just a tad up the middle. There's now a high leg kick here from Schaup. Fires as McCready fights this one off the hands. Back off the screen, 1 ball and 1 strike. McCready batting .228. Kind of splitting time out there in center field along with Muzi, who we saw last night getting the start in center field. Not much differentiation in terms of the batting averages. .235 for Alex Muzi and .228. Is now the runner's off on the pitch. Throw down to second base. Not in time as the ball is called a ball and then thrown down by Clanky. Dug out of the dirt there from Michael Breen. No chance to throw out the speedy Duran. And so making something happen with his legs here in the top of the third with 2 outs is Ben Clanky will now go out and talk to his battery mate and shout. Maybe ask him what he wants to do in this situation with a 2-1 pitch coming. An important pitch here to McCready as you don't want to allow this inning to linger any longer. But like I was mentioning, Duran, the infield single, flashing the hard 90 down the first base line, and then, of course, going the extra 90 feet up to second base via the stolen base. Sub Clanky back behind the plate. Schaup has his sign. As this one is laced over to the right side, gets past a diving Perrin into right field. Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. picks him up. They're sending the runner from third. Throw is not in time. However, McCready tries to take second, and Clanky alertly throws it to second base to get the third out of the inning. Unfortunately, 1 run will come across on the RBI single from McCready. But Ben Clanky picks up his second assist on the evening. Already threw out 1 runner, and now tags McCready trying to advance to second base to conclude the top of the third inning. So we'll go to the bottom half of the frame with that man, Ben Clanky, coming to the plate for his first at-bat, followed by Michael Breen and Curtis Perrin as we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves trail now 2-0. And so now it'll be Ben Klinke coming to the plate here in this bottom of the third inning for the Gresham Gray Wolves. So far, no hits allowed here by Chris Murphy as Klinke checks his swing. Fastball runs low, and he did not go around as that runs for ball one. Klinke, so far this season, of course, a product of University of Nebraska, as he'll pop this one up and will get out of play over to the left, ball and a strike. Has only seen action in 10 games so far, as that catching position has been one that's been pretty coveted all around. Got Kyle Henderson back there. Of course, Matt Cairo, who we saw last night, buying for time as Klinke swings through a fastball up and in here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But Klinke batting .226, 3 for 31, or rather 7 for 31, as he has 3 doubles, also 3 RBIs on the short season, and now takes a fastball over the outside edge, called strike 3 there by Tim Gerkman, as Chris Murphy continues to rack up the Ks, now 4 here through just 2 1/3, and probably looking for more here with Michael Breen coming to the plate.
Michael Breen.
Breen, of course, the utility man, can really play anywhere along the infield, even probably some outfield positions if he set his mind to it. We've seen him at second, short, and third, of course, playing shortstop tonight. Now swings through a fastball on the outside edge, 0-1. The bat hasn't necessarily come along for Breen, but is able to make up for it with the glove as he now fights this one back off the screen quickly, 0-2. Batting just .190. 12 hits and 63 at-bats, although 7 runs scored. And tied for the team lead with 8 stolen bases. And he swings through a fastball, tied him up on the inside corner, and back-to-back strikeouts here to begin this bottom of the third here for Chris Murphy. So far making short work of these Gray Wolves. His 5th strikeout now. 2 of them looking, 3 of them swinging, as Curtis Perrin will come to the plate, the leadoff hitter for the Gresham Gray Wolves. It's now the first pitch on the way to Perrin. It's a fastball that catches the outside edge here, 0-1, as Perrin walked in his first at-bat to begin the ball game. And at that point, Chris Murphy was kind of looking all over the place as Perrin sends this one deep down the right field line, but is going to hook foul. Certainly would have been extra bases, but a good 20 feet foul as he was able to find good wood on that one. Something Chris Murphy simply hasn't seen from the Gray Wolves so far this evening. It's now a long strike as it's 0-2 here to the Gray Wolf second baseman. 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses off the edge. Good placement there as he tried to get Perrin to go fishing, but could not pull the trigger. It's now Perrin. Seth's back in the box. 1-2 pitch on the way here from Murphy. It's a fastball that misses low in the dirt outside here to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As it's 2-0, the Sweets lead the Gray Wolves. Both runs being scored by the leadoff man and third baseman, or rather second baseman, Jaron Duran. As after a quick time called by Perrin, he's back in the box, and the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, bends back over the heart of the plate. Perrin thought it was high, but nonetheless is going to be a ring-em-up strike 3 called again as Chris Murphy strikes out the side. An impressive flash of brilliance here in the top of the third inning, rather the bottom, to conclude this third. And so we'll head to the fourth here at Osland Field with the heart of the order coming up for the Sweets. Willie McIver, Cole Rutherford, and Kobe Kauhaha due up when we come back. As we take a break here on Gray Wolves Live, I'm Evan Giddings. Gray Wolves are down 2-0. And so now we're set to go here to begin this fourth inning here at Austin Field. 2-0, the Walla Walla Sweets have the lead over the Gresham Grey Wolves as Aaron Shout back out for his fourth inning of work. Of course, one of those runs unearned that came back in the first inning, although both runs scored by the leadoff man, Jaron Duran. Willie McIver to the plate here to begin this fourth as the first pitch on the way is low in the dirt. That one's going to escape past Ben Clanky all the way to the backstop as it's Spud Heidemann going to pick that ball up. And something we've seen from a lot of Grey Wolves players sporting, of course, their USA-type gear, as this one is slapped over to the right, going to get out of play foul, 1-1. As the Grey Wolves rocking their black home uniforms with the Grey Wolf on the right side of the patch. Grey Wolves across the chest in gold, tapered in white, as this one is fouled back off the screen, a ball and 2 strikes. The white pants, high pants, and black stirrups, along with the white sanitaries. Also, like I mentioned, a lot of players wearing those United States of America arm sleeves. As the pitch now on the way, laced up the middle. That's going to get by a diving Breen. An excellent hit right there by Willie McIver. Jumped out and tapped it as now Smith tries to backpick McIver first, but not in time as Rodriguez will go and retrieve it. So like I was mentioning, McIver able to stick that bat head out and find barrel. Got it up the middle as Michael Breen took a step to his left and on a dive, unable to come up with it just beyond the outstretched arms of Michael Breen as Willie McIver has himself a single to begin this fourth. And so now Aaron Shout having to work out of the stretch. He'll take a look over to first. Not a long lead there for McIver as this changeup misses low here to Cole Rutherford, ball 1. Rutherford 0 for 1 as he flew out to deep center field. And that was one of those 3 Riverview Community Bank covering plays by Ryan Smith out there in center field. So now the second pitch on the way. That fastball misses just high and outside here. 2 balls and no strikes to Rutherford, who last night, like I mentioned, was able to go 0 for 2, although did reach on an error. Now a quick pick over to first base. This one grabbed by Rodriguez, as of course we saw back in the first inning when Duran was on first. Rodriguez unable to glove that pickoff attempt that allowed Duran to eventually come around and score. And so now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses high. Quickly 3-0 here to Cole Rutherford. Nobody out and runner on first. At the very least, want to make him compete in this at-bat. With Kauhaha waiting on deck. The shortstop for the Sweets. Now the 3-0 pitch on the way right down the middle. As Schaub gets himself back in this at-bat here, 3-1. We saw Rutherford hit one particularly deep off the scoreboard, although it was foul. The way the scoreboard is placed here at Osland Field is just to the left of the 330 sign down the left field line. As this one is laced up the middle. Gloved by Breen over to second, on to first in time, double play. 6-4-3, Breen to Perrin to Rodriguez. And a beautiful pitch right there by Aaron Schaup to get him out in front. On a 3-1 pitch, Rutherford ends up doing the damage himself, and there's now 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Was nearly a similar ground ball to the one that McIver hit, although this one was just a couple inches towards Breen as he was able to put his glove on it. As now the first pitch on the way to Kauhaha is swung through on the inside corner, 0-1. And so Breen, who had that error early on in the game that allowed Kauhaha to reach, being able to flash some leather here, more like we've seen him over the last couple of weeks, as Kauhaha laces this one into right field, but taking a couple steps over is Mitchell Jr., and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So after a leadoff single from McIver, erased by a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Rutherford, and Kauhaha is retired as Aaron Shaw faces the minimum and will go to the bottom of the fourth. Due up for the Grey Wolves, it'll be Mitchell Jr., Zicafus, and Rodriguez as we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves still down here 2-0. And so now we return to action here at Osland Field as we're just about set to begin this bottom of the fourth inning. Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. coming to the plate against Chris Murphy, who has so far coasted through this Gray Wolves offense and has himself a flurry of strikeouts, a total of 6 so far through just the first 3 innings. And Mitchell Jr. trying to erase that trend here as he steps to the plate. First pitch on the way here from Murphy to Mitchell Jr. Takes a big swing, laces this one back off the screen. He just missed that pitch. Haven't necessarily seen a lot of power on the earlier season from Mitchell Jr., although does have 4 doubles and 1 triple. But that pitch, he looked like he was trying to go somewhere that was not in this ballpark. So now the 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball again that misses inside. Tried to bring it back to the catcher door, but could not, as the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Mitchell Jr. struck out looking on a full count back in the first as he now takes a fastball high for ball 2, 2-1. That was a pitch on the outside corner that he thought was called, or thought might have been called ball 4, but Tim Gerkman, the home plate umpire, ended up ringing him up. So now the 2-1 laced back off the screen again. Mitchell Jr. visibly frustrated with himself at the plate. Not anything malicious, but 2 very hittable pitches there from Chris Murphy. And a good fastball there that just able to get by the bat of Mitchell Jr. for the second as well as the first strike. So now Murphy, who has his sign of the 2-2 count, fastball up and in, taken by Mitchell Jr. And a full count worked here by the Gray Wolf right fielder. The Golden Bear, University of California, Berkeley product. Mitchell Jr., sophomore this past season, is the payoff pitch now on the way. Fastball this time runs low and not called by Tim Gerkman as Mitchell Jr. will head down to first base via base on balls. So a good start here in the fourth as the Gray Wolves had themselves a leadoff walk back in the first inning. Unfortunately, were unable to make anything of it as after a fielder's choice by Zickafoos and then eventually moved to second on a passed ball. But because of back-to-back strikeouts to Mitchell Jr. as well as Ryan Rodriguez, that kind of stifled that opportunity for Gresham back in the first, and now hoping to possibly make something happen here with Connor Zickafoos at the plate. It's now pick off attempt by Murphy. No tag over there at first from Rutherford. As the shadows have almost fully crept out onto Osland Field here. The lights are on as kind of a streak of black angling across the field as Zickafoos swings through a fastball here, 0-1. There's some large lumbering trees down that left field line that create that sort of almost streakish look across the field. No sun in any of the right side of the fielder's eyes, although maybe getting a little bit in the way of that center fielder, Chris McCready. Now the 0-1 on the way. Fastball misses low, taken there by Zickafoos, 1-1. Zickafoos only has struck out 1 time this season, although also has only walked. So definitely a guy that is patient, but is going to find a way to put the ball in place some way or another. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball misses way outside there for Murphy. Kind of a high leg kick to try and deke the runner Mitchell Jr. over at first base. Maybe not necessarily completely focused on the pitch at hand as that one was way outside. And I mentioned in that first inning how they kind of had some light tossing going on the bullpen of the Sweets. That is now done as whoever was up there throwing now back in the dugout as the 2-1 popped up on the infield. Left side, it's got to be Nyquist calling for the third baseman as he will make the catch, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the fourth. So Zickafoos will head back to the dugout, and it'll be Ryan Rodriguez's turn. Batting cleanup this evening for the Gray Wolves. Struck out swinging in a 2-2 count, although did work an 8-pitch at-bat last time against Murphy. So the Gray Wolves, at the very least, seeing him well, able to work that pitch count a little bit, which, as mentioned, is limited to just 75 this evening. So the first pitch on the way to Rodriguez. Ball misses high as he bends out of the way of that one. 1-0. Rodriguez, that's his team-leading 17th strikeout of the season. A guy that definitely swings big and so far this summer season, unfortunately, has missed big as he now takes a fastball low and inside 2-0. However, has been kind of a staple over there at first base. Has been extremely hit or miss, really kind of inconsistent at the plate. But when he's hot, he's as good as any Gray Wolf hitter on this team. As this pitch, a strike down the outside corner and a throw down to second base. Mitchell Jr. was on the move, and he'll steal second base. His team leading now 9th stolen base of the season as he was off on the pitch on first moving to a left-hander. Fortunate there, Chris Murphy did not pick over, although it looked like he kind of had him read and was able to utilize that to his advantage and take second base. So that ball was called a strike, 2-1, as Mitchell Jr. now takes his lead from second, and a backdoor breaking ball catches the outside edge here to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Rodriguez looking to avoid that strikeout in this situation. At the very least, with 1 out, a ground ball to the right side would move Mitchell over to third. Get himself somewhat of a productive out in this situation. As Murphy now has his sign, kicks and fires. Fastball chased on the outside edge. Also a little high there. Nonetheless, down on strikes for the second time tonight. And so unfortunately, Rodriguez is struck out swinging, and it'll be Ryan Smith's turn. He also struck out swinging back in the second on 3 pitches. Although that was kind of the borderline call. He checked his swing in the 0-2 count, and Andrew Burke, the field umpire, did rule he went around, although from the angle up here in the booth, it really could have gone either way. And so now with 2 outs, Mitchell Jr. takes his lead from second. First pitch on the way, way outside, but corralled there by Doer, as that one looked like it was headed for the screen. And so Chris Murphy has done a pretty good job tonight of attacking with that fastball. Like I mentioned, in between 90 and 94 miles an hour. So has got a little room and leeway as he misses just a bit inside here with another fastball. 2-0 here to Smith. And Smith, along with Mitchell Jr., tied for the team lead in at-bats. A total of 82 at-bats now as he now takes another fastball that misses low. And quickly 3-0 here to Smith. So in 1 at-bat, only sees strikes. And now his second at-bat tonight has seen nothing but balls from Chris Murphy. So now Murphy, who checks back at second. We'll see what he gets here as he fires a fastball that misses just above the belt, called high by Tim Gerkman. And Ryan Smith earns himself a 4-pitch walk. So now runners on second and first. 2 outs here for the designated hitter, Will Matheson, as he'll come to the plate. In his first plate appearance, walked in a full count. And now it looks like Frank Mutz will come out and have a quick mound visit with his young left-hander. And of course, it is the 4th of July weekend, and I pulled up a couple of interesting moments and memorable moments here throughout the years of the 4th of July. Of course, the most memorable in 1939, Gehrig's famous luckiest man speech, of course known as the Iron Horse, as he delivered that speech 2 weeks removed from his diagnosis of ALS. I know that's personally one of my old man's favorite moments of all time, as well as his father's. As we're just about set to go here, Mutz back in the dugout. First pitch on the way here to Matheson is a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Matheson from Westland High School, just 20 minutes down the road here from Gresham, Oregon. Going to be attending Stanford University in the fall. Getting his first taste of collegiate summer baseball as he takes a fastball low and outside here, 1-1. Predominantly seen in the designated hitter role, although early on in the season did get some starts over at the hot corner at third base. So now Murphy checks the runner at second, as Mitchell Jr. was dancing around a little bit, so he'll step off. Now back on the rubber, has his sign from Doer. Mitchell continuing to dance, but now the pitch on the way, a 1-0 fastball, rather 1-1 fastball that misses high and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Josh Adams awaiting on deck here with 2 outs. It's 2-0 Sweets. No hits so far for the Gray Wolves. 3 for the Sweets, as this one is laced into right field, sinking, but playable there for Nick Vigo, who will come in to make the catch. I thought that one might have had a chance to drop, as Vigo robs Will Matheson of at least one base, and that will conclude the fourth here at Osland Field. So we'll head on to the fifth. Nick Nyquist, Hayden Doer, and Clayton Ayers due up in the top of the fifth for the Walla Walla Sweets, as we'll take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live, as the Grey Wolves trail still 2-0. And so now we're ready to begin the fifth here at Osland Field. 2-0. The Walla Walla Sweets have the lead over the Gresham Grey Wolves, as Aaron Shout back on the hill for his fifth inning of work, and he'll face Nick Nyquist, the third baseman for the Sweets, who takes a first pitch breaking ball that misses just inside here, 1-0. Nyquist 0 for 1 on the evening, flew out to deep center field. One of the three Sweets robbed defensively there from Ryan Smith, who really makes his presence felt out there, especially defensively, but also picking it up with the bat, as now Nyquist takes a changeup low, 2-0. So now the 2-0 pitch on the way here from Shout. Misses high and outside, 3-0. Had a four-pitch walk, or rather was almost a four-pitch walk in the previous inning. The Cole Rutherford went 3-0 before fighting back, and in a 3-1 count induced a double play ball, but unfortunately falls victim to the four-pitch walk here as he misses with a fastball low here. And Nyquist is aboard here with nobody out to begin the fifth.
Number 29, Hayden Doer.
And so now Hayden Doer coming to the plate. In his last week, hitting below 100, just one hit and 11 at-bats in the last 4 games this past week for the Sweets, as they have struggled with the bat, according to the scouting report, and now takes a strike here at the knees, 0-1. In their past 7 games, batting just 192 as an offense, of course, making up for it with that team ERA of 3.36. And now this one sprayed opposite field into right field, sinking, but a nice play made there by Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. He's able to snag that one right off the shoe tops for the first out of this inning, as Nyquist will retreat back to first base. So a couple of line drives here in this fifth inning, or rather the bottom of the fourth and now the top of the fifth on both sides that result in outs. It was Will Matheson who lined out to end that fourth inning. A possible opportunity where the Grey Wolves with the runner in scoring position could have scored, but taken away by the right fielder Nick Vigo. Now the runner's on the move as this pitch is grounded right to Michael Breen. He'll have it go to first base in time as the hit and run is partially executed. The runner gets to second base in Nick Nyquist. However, Clayton Ayers is out at first base on the 6-3 putout. And so now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, it will be the aforementioned Nick Vigo who ended the Grey Wolf offensive possible rally in the bottom of the fourth inning, as he's 0 for 1 with a backwards K. In fact, Vigo over this last week, well, not too many at-bats, just 6, although has not recorded a hit in his last 3 games played, and now tries a push-butt attempt, but pulls it back as his fastball from Schaup misses outside, 1-0. And not a bad idea. If you're having trouble with the plate, try and find any way on, especially with the leadoff hitter, Jaron Duran, who has really been the spark plug so far this game for the Sweets on deck. So now Shout, 1-0 pitch on the way, breaking ball on the inside corner, beautifully placed there to even up the count at a ball and a strike. He used that breaking ball to strike out Vigo in the third inning, a 3-2 breaking ball, in fact. A very aggressive pitch there from Schaup as he now comes set at the belt. Checks the runner at second base. Long pause and now fires as this one off the end of the bat right to the second baseman Perrin. He collects it over to first base in time to retire the side. So after a leadoff walk, 3 in a row retired there by Aaron Schaup, as he has really shut the door in these last 2 innings as we head to the bottom of the 5th here at Osland Field. Josh Adams, Ben Klenke, and Michael Breen do it for the Grey Wolves as the bottom of the order is coming up here in this bottom of the 5th. And we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. 2-0, the Sweets hold the lead. And so now we're ready to begin this bottom of the 5th here at Osland Field with Josh Adams stepping in to face Chris Murphy. First pitch from the lefty-on-lefty matchup is a strike that catches the outside corner here, 0-1. Adams stung a ball in his last at-bat in the second inning. Unfortunately, was right to the second baseman Duran, who then turned a 4-6-3 double play. Now the second pitch on the way, a fastball. This one a couple balls off the plate, and a nice frame there from Dewar, but did not get the call, as it's now 1-1. Josh Adams, of course, the newest member of the Grey Wolf offense, and I believe the last addition to this team, as he now grounds one, a chopper over to the right side, gloved on the backhand by Rutherford. He'll go to the pitcher covering, and Murphy's there in time to beat Josh Adams to the bag, 1 away. A nice play there on the backhand from Cole Rutherford, especially fighting that sun. Like I mentioned, kind of streaking out into the middle of the field, but the one area that it does not cover that the sun is able to beat down upon the infield is over at first base. So Cole Rutherford with the glasses on, able to not let that sun get in his way and record the 3-1 putout. So now it'll be Ben Klenke, the backstop this evening for the Grey Wolves to the plate. Sporting that US of A batting sleeve on the right arm, as this fastball misses low in the dirt, 1-0. Now a quick mound visit here from Hayden Dewar. Still no action in the bullpen for the Walla Walla Sweets, and we'll try and get a check on that pitch count as quickly as we can, because again, like I mentioned before the game or at the beginning, he's on a 75 pitch count, and it seems like the Grey Wolves, at least in these last couple of innings, have been able to work decently long counts, 4 and 5 pitch at least counts. As now the mound visit's over, back on the mound is Chris Murphy, and this one is laced into left field to get down for a hit. The first one this evening for the Grey Wolves, as Ben Klenke goes the other way and has himself a single with 1 out here in the 5th. And so a nice piece of hitting there from the University of Nebraska product. Taking that fastball that was on the outside corner and going the other way with it. Something that I've been wanting to see more of this Grey Wolf offense, and that I I thought that was a consistent part of their offense, at least early on this summer season, as now Michael Breen steps to the plate and takes a fastball for a strike on the outside edge. At least early on in their first couple of home series, it seemed like the Grey Wolves made a concentrated effort to try and drive the ball to the opposite field, as now this breaking ball bends in to the inside edge. Quickly 0-2 here to the Grey Wolves shortstop. Chris Murphy working quickly, has his sign, kicks and fires now as this one is slapped over to the right, and a good piece of defending the strike zone there from Michael Breen as the count remains 0-2. Right past the first base coach over there is we'll have a member of the Walla Sweets go retrieve that down the right field line. And Breen back in the box as we'll resume play. So now the 0-2 pitch coming again. This one high fly ball but playable, drifting towards right center field is Chris McCready, and he will make the catch for the second out of the bottom of the fifth. So 2 away here with the runner on first for Curtis Perrin coming to the plate. And only 5'10", but definitely packs a punch. And we saw him almost drive one to the wall in his last at-bat. In the previous home series against Wenatchee, in fact, he had a leadoff triple in the very first game I saw him play or at least at home as a member of the Gresham Grey Wolves. And now takes a curveball high and outside here, 1-0. He's 0 for 1 this evening as he struck out looking back in the third. Also had a walk in the first to begin the ball game, as he now takes a fastball off the outside edge. Now 2-0 here to Curtis Perrin. So far, Perrin not hitting as well as he'd like to, just a 129 average as he takes a fastball that misses inside here, 3-0. However, has been able to earn himself 12 walks, already third most on the team in just 12 games played. Of course, the most, like I mentioned earlier, Ryan Rodriguez, who's played 19 games, as now Perrin takes a fastball on the inside edge to get Murphy on the board. Now 3 balls and a strike. Although 12 walks in 12 games, so at the very least getting on base once a game, and that's what Justin Barkas needs, as this one gets away from the catcher Dewar. Going to be ball 4, and taking a turn at second base is Clanky, but will hold up there as Dewar is able to scamper back to it and collect it. So Curtis Perrin collects his second walk this evening, 13th on the season. And that officially puts him in tied for second place. And a correction, not in fact Ryan Rodriguez, but Jack Johnson leading the team with 14 walks. And now Perrin tied with Ryan Smith for second place with 13. So now it'll be Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. coming to the plate as he takes a fastball high for ball 1. And if there's one hitter that seemed like he has his timing down against the hard-throwing Chris Murphy, it's definitely Mitchell Jr. Just missed a couple of pitches in his last at-bat. A couple of healthy hacks in both of those strikes before eventually working a walk, as Dewar, another quick mound visit out with Murphy, but now retreats back behind home plate as Mitchell Jr. gets set to step in. Also collected his 9th stolen base, officially taking the team lead away from the 3-way tie that was between Michael Breen, Ryan Smith, and himself. So now Murphy, a long stare, finally has his sign as he checks the runner on second. And now the kicks in, fires, fastball misses high to Mitchell Jr., falls behind 2-0. As there's been some light tossing now beginning to brew down in the Walla Sweet bullpen. Whenever we see a number there, we'll try and get it for you as quickly as we can. As Murphy reaching just beyond the 80 pitch mark, in fact, so that report we got from the Walla Sweets about a 75 pitch count. Obviously not true, as he's upwards of around 85 at this point. So maybe trying to extend him a little more. As the 2-0 pitch now on the way to Mitchell Jr. is a curveball low in the dirt, blocked by Dewar. And it's 3-0 here to the Grey Wolf right fielder. In fact, that was the 84th pitch of the night for Murphy. 42 balls and 42 strikes. And there's number 43 as he throws a fastball right down the middle to get back in this at-bat. But it's kind of been all over the place, and I guess you could point to him being effectively wild so far here tonight as the 3-1 pitch on the way, a fastball that misses just off the outside edge. Murphy not happy with himself after he walks yet another batter, his 6th on the evening. as Mitchell Jr. will head down to first base for the second time. So that will load the bases here with 2 outs for Connor Zickafoose, as he's 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice back in the first and flew out, or rather popped out to the third baseman on the infield back in the fourth. As now Murphy will get a bit of a pep talk here from the first baseman Cole Rutherford. Might also be trying to add a little time to give that right-hander down to the bullpen a little more time down there. Number 13, as that appears to be Cole Henderson warming up for the Sweets. Now the first pitch on the way from Murphy is a fastball that misses low and in here to Zickafoose, 1-0. And at this point, you got to think that the Grey Wolf hitters would at the very least make Murphy throw a strike before even taking the bat off their shoulders. As Murphy's got to retie the laces. Wait, he's retying the laces. As Chris Murphy now is done with that. Back on the bump. Has his sign from the catcher, Dewar. And now the pitch on the way. Zickafoose fought off that fastball back off the screen. Kind of a direct hack, not one you see typically from lefties. Although Zickafoose, a very A to B type swing, extremely linear, straight to the ball, and a very, very quick hands from this lanky left-hander. In an open stance. As the 1-1 pitch now on the way. Fastball that misses low in the dirt. Gets away from Dewar. Here comes the runner from third. Klinke is going to be safe without a slide as the Grey Wolves are on the board here now 2-1. Ben Klinke read that one all the way. Maybe a little bit of intuition, being a catcher, understanding how this ball plays here at the ballpark of Osland Field. Also in addition, Mitchell Jr. will move up to second and Perrin will advance to third on the wild pitch here from Chris Murphy, his second of the ball game. And so now Murphy obviously struggling with that command, just looking to find some way into the strike zone here against Zickafoose, who now has himself a 2-1 count. As a pitch on the way here is a fastball that misses way outside there, 3-1. And you got to wonder at this point how much longer Frank Mutz is going to allow his young left-hander to go, as Murphy has officially thrown more balls than strikes here this evening, at officially 90 pitches and making the call down to the bullpen. As this one misses low and inside, Zickafoose has to jump out of the way of that one, and that'll be ball 4 again. So has now walked the last 3 batters, all on 5 pitches. 15 pitches, just 3 of them strikes, as that may be the last leg for Chris Murphy. Some action down in the bullpen as it looks like Cole Henderson is done warming up. He's going to head down to the bullpen. But nonetheless, Mutz is going to stick with his left-hander and the incoming freshman at University of San Diego against Ryan Rodriguez. First pitch on the way to Rodriguez is a fastball on the outside edge. Manages to catch the plate as Chris Murphy has himself his first pitch strike of this inning. Or rather got one against Breen. However, in the last 4 batters, just 1 first pitch strike. And so now Rodriguez has got a battle up here. 2 outs, bases loaded. As the 0-1 on the way, big swing and a miss. Might have taken something off that time, a possible changeup. Either way, Rodriguez swung right over it. As he's in a hole here now, 0-2. The Gresham first baseman looking to avoid a hat trick here, as he's already struck out twice swinging in the 4th as well as the 1st. And especially with runners all aboard and the bases juiced, want at the very least try and put a ball in play. So now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball sprayed down the right field line, but is going to hook foul. As he got a bit of glass crashing over there. Nonetheless, the count will stay at no balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez over his last week has only seen action in 3 games and has just collected 1 hit in his last 6 at-bats, or rather now 8 at-bats, if you include the statistics so far from this game. As Murphy has his new ball, 0-2 fires. This one fisted over to the right side, corralled by the second baseman Duran. He'll go to first base and beats Rodriguez by just a step. That was a soft liner that Duran had to wait back on, and Rodriguez nearly beat that one out. Unfortunately ends the side, but the Grey Wolves do find themselves on the board. A wild pitch allows Ben Klinke to come around from third and score, after collecting the very first hit so far tonight for the Grey Wolves. As that will conclude the 5th inning, we'll go to the 6th here at Austin Field. Top of the order coming up for the Sweets, Duran, McCready, and McIver. After this break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live, the Grey Wolves now on the board, 2-1. And so now we're ready to go here in this top of the 6th as the Walla Sweets in the form of Jaron Duran steps to the plate. Takes the first pitch fastball inside for ball 1. As Duran has scored both runs so far tonight for the Sweets as he now takes one up and in, and this one tips off the brim of the helmet of Duran, and that's going to go as a hit by pitch. So Aaron Schaup tags Duran right on the top of the helmet. That's his second hit by pitch tonight. And of course, the trend's not favorable in this type of situation as Duran, the last time he reached, well, in fact, both times he reached, he was able to come around to score. Of course, was hit by a pitch back in the first and then reached third on an error after a pickoff attempt went awry from Aaron Schaup. And then, of course, came around to score in the third after he singled, was able to steal second, and then an RBI single from McCready brought him in. So now it'll be that man, McCready, coming to the plate, as he's 1 for 2 with the single I just mentioned, along with a ground out to the second baseman, Perrin, which is what exactly Schaup could use here, as he almost throws this one away on a pickoff attempt, but Rodriguez is able to get a glove on it. Had to reach over the outstretched body of Duran that was diving back into first base. As Schaup, another fake pickoff attempt over to first. Nobody's home, though. Definitely worried about Duran over at first. He's got a stolen base already. And now another pickoff attempt. This one right to the chest of Rodriguez, but no tag. As Duran in his last week has swiped 4 bags. An impressive amount. In fact, on the season has a total of now 12. Tie for the team lead with Doyle, the left fielder who we saw last night. I believe Chris Doyle is his name. Now the first pitch on the way here to McCready. Curveball doesn't quite bend back enough, although that one looked pretty good. And Ben Klinke's going to have a question there for Tim Gerkman, who ruled the ball a bit high and inside. And so now Schaup has his sign 1-0 pitch on the way. Runners on the move. Ground ball to the right side, backhanded by Rodriguez. He'll have only first base to go to as Duran gets the second base in. The Walla Sweets continuing to play small ball here, as we've seen now 3 hit and runs in this game alone. So McCready grounds out to first, 3 unassisted for the first out of the inning, but Jaron Duran advances and puts himself in scoring position here in this top of the 6th inning. We talked about the brewing bullpen for the Sweets. It looks like there's also some action now for the Grey Wolves. Just a couple of pitchers down there starting to stretch out. As the first pitch on the way here to Willie McIver is a fastball that runs low, 1-0. We saw last night Justin Barkas putting a lot of faith in his starting pitcher, Gabe Benavides, and I would expect the same tonight, especially with Aaron Schaup pitching well tonight. And if not for that one unearned run, should be 1-1 as McIver slaps this one back off the screen to even the count on a ball and a strike. Willie McIver, 1 for 2. Singled through the left side, or rather back up the middle in the 4th, and flew out to right field back in the first inning. And so now Shout in the stretch, comes set at the belt. Kicks and fires here. Changeup slapped over to the right, high and out of play. As it's a ball and 2 strikes here to Willie McIver. The leading hitter for the Walla Walla Sweets in the last week and just in general average on the season, batting .364 coming into play. Rather, yeah, .364, 20 hits and 55 at-bats. Almost misread that. As he slaps this one, a sinking fly ball into right field. That's going to drop. Ryan Smith has it. The throw. They're going to have to hold him up at second base, or rather at third base. Duran, who's already scored from second base once, and a strong throw from Ryan Smith holds him up around third base. So a good, strong throw there from Ryan Smith prevents a run from scoring. But nonetheless, Willie McIver collects his second hit on the evening. The first multi-hit batter on either side. Of course, the Grey Wolves just 1 hit so far. That came from Ben Klenke in the bottom half of the 5th. And so now that Ben Klenke will come out from behind the plate, give a couple of signs out to his infielders. As with 1 out and runners on the corners, a possible first and third situation with the Sweets not afraid to run on the base paths or at the very least make something happen. We saw a squeeze play yesterday, and wouldn't be surprised to see something similar here with Cole Rutherford coming to the plate. Swings through a fastball right there on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. As in fact, it was Rutherford that was nearly thrown out at the plate last night on a squeeze attempt. The runner on third, I believe, Muzi came in to score on the squeeze attempt play, as now Rutherford ropes this one into left field. That's going to get down the left field line. Cut off by Josh Adams as he will play it in, but not before the Walla Walla Sweets tag on their third run of the ball game here on an RBI single from Cole Rutherford. So Jaron Duran will come in to score as Willie McIver moves up to second base. It's a 3-1 ball game here at Osland Field. On the second hit this inning from the Sweets. Offense possibly starting to come alive here as Kobe Kauhaha will come to the plate. Hoping for a double play ball here for Schaup as Kauhaha has already grounded into one. Now a drag bunt attempt up the third base line, fielded by Schaup. He'll go to first, and it is just in time, getting Kauhaha by a half a step. A good hard 90 there from the Sweets. Shortstop, but not in time as Schaup is able to field his position and collect the second out of this top of the 6th inning. So that'll go down as a sacrifice attempt. This Kauhaha, although bunting for a hit, ends up giving himself up and moves Rutherford up to second base and McIver to third, now bringing Nick Nyquist to the plate. So now, with runners in scoring position, Schaup, first pitch on the way here is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0. And of course, within that 3-1 score we have, just 2 of those 3 runs are earned. The very first run of the game scored by Duran, not earned. As Nyquist steps back in the box, and this one thrown in the dirt, but blocked nicely by Klenke. Looked like he kind of just lunged for that one and picked the short hop, but nonetheless did exactly what he needed to do, which was prevent that ball to get from the backstop, which also in turn prevented that runner McIver at third from scoring. And so as for that action down the bullpen, looks like it is number 29 for the Grey Wolves. Michael Clark beginning to get loose as Nyquist pops this one up over the right side in foul territory. Calling for it is Rodriguez near the fence, and he'll make the catch. So a nice play made there, kind of tiptoeing the foul line down there by Ryan Rodriguez, able to corral the third out of this inning and leave 2 runners aboard in scoring position. The Sweets do strike for 1 as Jaron Duran scores his 3rd run of the ball game and now gives the Sweets a 3-1 lead. As we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live, I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
13.
And so we're just about set to go here in this the bottom of the sixth for the Gresham Grey Wolves, as Ryan Smith, followed by Will Matheson and Josh Adams, will be coming to the plate against the new pitcher for the Walla Walla Sweets, Cole Henderson, coming out of the bullpen, making his third appearance as a Walla Walla Sweet. And just 2 innings pitched for the right-hander, 6 foot, 185 pounds out of Jamul, California, as the first pitch on the way to Smith is a fastball that misses low, 1-0. In his 2 outings, one of them good, one of them not so good. His last time out, didn't even collect an out as he misses up and in here to Smith, 2-0. Did not collect an out, allowed 2 runs, both of them earned on 1 walk, and in fact, no hits. So not quite sure how that one will play out as Smith fouls this one off, 2 balls and 1 strike. Possibly a couple of hit by pitches and then taken out. Only faced 2 batters, and I guess both of those ended up coming around to score. So likely a hit by pitch along with the base on balls, as now Ryan Smith takes ball 3 here. 3 balls and a strike. As for his first outing, though, quite smooth against Bend. 2 innings, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no hits allowed. As he fires in a fastball, called for a strike in the inside corner. Ryan Smith, again, not agreeing with the strike zone of Tim Gerkman. He's got a couple of words for him. That probably stems all the way back from the second inning when he had that check swing that he thought should have been a ball, but in fact was called strike 3. And now laces this one down the left field line. It's hooking and is going to get foul. Ryan Smith just missed extra bases on that one. Out near the 330 sign, down the scoreboard. The home of the Saints here at Osland Field, as that one had extra bases written all over it, but instead is going to go for a long foul ball. And so now Smith back in the box. Henderson ready to pitch. Is this one the payoff pitch lifted deep to left center field, but ranging over is McCready, and it looks like, in fact, the left fielder, Willie McIver, is going to be the one to make the catch. Just a couple of steps in front of the Gresham Ford sign out in left center field. Ryan Smith very close on 2 occasions in that at-bat of getting, at the very least, 2 bases.
33, Will Matheson.
So unfortunately, nothing to show for it, as there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and it's Will Matheson that's coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1, had a line out that nearly produced at least 1 run for the Grey Wolves in the 4th, but was snagged by the right fielder Vigo to prevent that rally from ensuing, as Matheson takes a fastball over the inside edge for strike 1. The designated hitter for the Grey Wolves also walked on a full count back in the 2nd inning, as he now laces this one, a breaking ball over the third baseman, Nyquist, into left field. It's going to be McIver that plays it in, as that will have to hold Matheson over at first base. But nonetheless, the second hit of the ball game coming here for the Grey Wolves in the 6th in the form of a single here by Will Matheson. So an excellent piece of hitting there, a little bit out in front of that breaking ball, but was able to use that 6'6" frame to kind of muscle it over the third baseman Nyquist and have himself a base hit, bringing Josh Adams to the plate. And so now the University of Santa Barbara Gaucho will step to the plate. And Josh Adams, first pitch, takes a fastball that misses low. Also possibly a bit off the plate there. Nonetheless, going to go for ball 1. As Adams grounded out to the first baseman in the 5th. It was a high chopper and a nice play by Rutherford over there at first base. Also had a hard hit ball to the second baseman that ended up turning into a double play, as he now takes ball 2, a fastball high and outside. Josh Adams, playing left field, has made a couple of nice plays out there. Although we've seen him in right a couple times as well. Joined the team just, I believe, 4 days ago during their road trip, as the 2-0 pitch on the way is slapped back off the screen. A big hack there from Adams. Count now 2 balls and a strike. He joined the road trip, I believe, on their way to Victoria, as this is just his 4th game played as a Gresham Grey Wolf. In fact, it was Walla, or rather Kitsap, excuse me. So Kitsap was the road trip he joined on, ended up going 0 for 2 and 0 for 4 in his first 2 games played. And now the 2-1 count on the way here from Henderson, as this one is grounded over the right side. And it's botched by Chris Murphy, as that one a tough hop off this infield of the Osland grass. I mean, that one hit right through the lip and will likely be ruled a base hit. And it in fact is, as Chris Murphy, or rather Jaron Duran, the second baseman, couldn't get a hold of it. And so back-to-back singles here for the Gray Wolves had themselves in business with one out and a runner now in scoring position with Ben Klinke coming to the plate.
The catcher, number 22, Ben Klinke.
And so Ben Klinke now due up for the Gray Wolves. He collected the very first hit, ended up breaking up that no-no that Chris Murphy had through his 5 innings of work. We'll get that stat line for you in just a second as Klinke rips this one down the first base line and fair. Over comes around Matheson. They're going to send Josh Adams. Klinke on his way to second. He's going to turn, but will hold up as he has himself a 2 RBI double here to tie the game here in the 6th. So Ben Klinke, after looking overmatched in his first at-bat, striking out looking, has really turned things around here in his last 2 at-bats. Ripped a single to the left and now turns on this fastball here from Cole Henderson as he collects 2 RBIs for the Gray Wolves and most importantly brings in Matheson and Adams all the way from first base to tie this ball game at 3. So now Michael Breen will come to the plate against Henderson. Was allowed 2 earned runs in this inning, but nothing brewing in the bullpen for the Sweets as Breen will tap this one off the end of the bat over to the dugout side of the Sweets, and it's 0-1. Breen flew out to center field back in the 5th, struck out swinging in the 3rd as Dewar will have a quick word with his pitcher Henderson. And again, I mentioned kind of the inconsistency, at least in his first 2 outings for the right-hander for Walla and Cole Henderson. Gave up 2 runs in his last outing and had a perfect outing the one before. So, fortunately for the Gray Wolves, being able to take advantage of this one is sprayed up the middle. A nice snag there by Kauhaha as he picks it up and goes to first base in time. That one kind of a sliding play up the middle to his glove side, was able to corral it and still get up in time and go to first base to collect the out. However, Ben Klinke alertly understanding the ball was behind him, taking his secondary lead up the middle, so was able to advance to 3rd here with 2 outs for the leadoff hitter in Curtis Perrin. So Cole Henderson trying to limit the damage. The Gray Wolves trying to take advantage here with 2 outs and possibly take the lead, as now Henderson will step off the bump. Didn't like what he saw there from his catcher Hayden Dewar. As Curtis Perrin is 0 for 1, however, 2 walks. Now 14 total walks on this young summer season, as this one nearly gets away from Henderson and away from Dewar. As that breaking ball way up and outside. Looked like Dewar just kind of stuck his glove out and fortunately was able to find the mitt. As that goes for ball 1. It's now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Curtis Perrin as he takes it again high and outside. This one a little lower near the letters. Nonetheless, 2 balls and no strikes here to Curtis Perrin. Perrin now back in the box, left-handed hitter. As the 2-0 runs far outside, 3-0. Not even close to the strike zone here against Perrin, as now there seems to be some accelerated action down to that Walla Sweet bullpen. Looks like number 26, a right-hander, A.J. Karkner, beginning to get loose. There's a 3-0 pitch on the way. Is a fastball that managed to find the outside part of the plate. Here 3-1. We'll see if the trends can continue here for Perrin, as he's walked, at least in his first 2 at-bats, in a 3-1 count in each of those. And now thought he had ball 4 there, but manages to creep into the bottom of the strike zone with a fastball, and that'll run the count full. And so if any runner was not on 3rd, they would be off. We'll see if Ben Klinke takes a bit of an extended lead here. As the payoff pitch on the way. Fastball outside that misses. As Curtis Perrin, his 3rd walk of the night, a walking machine. As that will bring Jeff Mitchell Jr. to the plate also with 2 walks. Although something tells me in this situation he's looking for a base knock instead of a base on balls. So now with a tie ball game, as the Gray Wolves have struck for 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Jeff Mitchell Jr. an opportunity to take the lead as he takes a fastball over the inside edge for strike 1. Also a stolen base for Mitchell Jr., his 9th and team leading 9th on the season. As the 0-1 pitch now on the way from Henderson on the outside edge. And Mitchell Jr. might have missed a pitch to hit there, 0-2. It always seems like this is the way it goes. After Henderson struggles to find the zone, is able to place 2 nice pitches to the hottest hitter for the Grey Wolves. As the 0-2 pitch now on the way, fastball up around the letters and high. A nice take there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mitchell Jr. with 7 RBIs this season. No one has yet to eclipse the double-digit mark in RBIs, although Ben Klenke picked up his 4th and 5th on that double down the line. And this one, a fastball gets up beyond the screen, but bounces right back to the catcher door as Klenke alertly stays at third base. However, the runner at first, Perrin, is able to advance on the wild pitch. And so now 3 wild pitches this evening. 2 for Murphy, now 1 for Henderson. As Perrin now on second base, runners at second and third. And Mitchell Jr., this could be a big play considering if Mitchell Jr. is able to fight one off in the infield. The force play now not at second base. As a 2-2. And this one popped up shallow into center field. Incoming McCready, and he will make the catch. A nice catch on the run for McCready, but not before the Grey Wolves strike for 2 to tie this ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. Will Matheson and Josh Adams single before Ben Klenke delivers a 2 RBI double down the first base line as we head now to the 7th inning here at Osland Field. Bottom of the order, Halen Doer, Clayton Ayers, and Nick Vigo do up for the Walla Walla Sweets as we have ourselves a tie ball game now here at Osland Field. And so now we're ready to begin this top of the 7th here at Osland Field, all tied up at 3-3 as the Grey Wolves struck for 2 in the bottom of the 6th off a 2 RBI double from the catcher Ben Klenke. And now it'll be up to Michael Clark to try and hold this steadfast score as he's in relief for Aaron Schaup, whose night is done. Schaup goes 6 innings as the first pitch on the way from Clark here to Halen Doer as a fastball swung through on the inside corner, 0-1. Schaup only surrenders 5 hits and 1 walk, strikes out a pair, and gives up 3 runs. Now, it says we have 3 of them earned, although I'm not quite sure if all 3 of those are. And now Michael Clark fires a fastball, chased upstairs here by Doer, quickly 0-2. As Michael Clark, we've seen in multiple situations out of the pen so far this first half of the summer season for the Grey Wolves. As the 0-2 pitch now on the way, broken bat over to the left side, grabbed by the third baseman Zikafuso, go across the diamond in time one away here to begin the 7th. And so Michael Clark, 3 straight heaters there as he collects some firewood from Halen Dorr. And it looks like that fastball, upwards of around 90 miles an hour, has definitely got some cheddar behind that. And it'll be Clayton Ayers now coming to the plate. The DH this evening for the Walla Walla Sweets. He's 0 for 2. Lined out to the center fielder Smith in the 3rd and grounded out to the shortstop Breen back in the 5th. It's now Clark in the windup. Has his sign. That short, compact throw right there goes in the dirt. A fastball that knocks off the shin guard of Klenke. That short delivery kind of keeps that leg kick in towards the body, slightly hunched over, as now the 1-0 on the way is a fastball that misses low, dug out of the dirt again by Klenke, 2-0. So after 3 straight strikes, is yet to find the strike zone here against Ayers. As Clark so far this season making his 5th appearance and misses just below the knees that time with a fastball, 3-0 here to the designated hitter for the Sweets. In his 4 appearances so far, 3.24 ERA and 8.1 innings of work. 5 strikeouts to 5 walks. That'll be number 6 on both accounts as he fires a fastball that misses low to Ayers and it gets a 4-pitch walk. So 6 walks now for Michael Clark. Also 6 hits across the board. Although in his last outing against Kitsap, went 1-2-3 to collect his first save as a Gresham Grey Wolf. 1 scoreless inning, 2 strikeouts in that appearance. In fact, the only win he's been able to be a part of so far this season. So that's kind of how he's been earning his role, kind of moving up the ladder a little bit in the bullpen. Is now we're going to have a quick chat here between the home plate umpire, and it looks like Gabe Benavides down there maybe trying to talk about who's coming in, maybe some quick roster changes. Not sure what the complications were as Tim Gerkman making some notes on his little pad there, adjusting some sort of roster. Maybe he didn't understand that Michael Clark was in. And so nonetheless, it'll be Nick Vigo to the plate. A quick pickoff over to first base, but no tag there from Rodriguez. And Michael Clark, at least the last time here at Osland Field, demonstrated a very quick pickoff move. Nearly had a couple of Wenatchee Apple Sox as the runner now on the move. Check swing, and Ben Klenke can't come up with the ball. The transfer was a bit erratic there as the ball kind of popped out of his glove, and Clayton Ayers is going to have himself a stolen base. So Ayers, now the 2nd stolen base tonight for the Sweets. We've seen him moving a couple of times. It looked like that one might have been a hit and run, as this one is hit and run all the way deep to left field, and that ball is gone. Clayton Ayers was taken off on the pitch, but Nick Vigo didn't care as he sends this fastball deep into the night, out beyond the trees, over near the Gresham Ford sign in left field. And right as the Gresham Grey Wolves tie this ball game, the Sweets respond in the next frame. Now 5-3, they lead it. And so Nick Vigo, a 2-run home run here off the bat, or off the arm of Michael Clark. As we're trying to find out if Vigo has even had a home run this season. It is not his very first home run of the season. In fact, I mentioned earlier he was batting 160 coming into play, and I think if you had to ask which batter in this Walla Walla Sweet lineup was going to hurt you, Nick Vigo would have been the last guy you would have picked in that situation. Nonetheless, is able to do plenty of damage here in the top of the 7th as Jaron Duran takes ball 1 inside from Michael Clark. And now the pitch on the way, breaking ball at the top of the zone, called for a strike by Gerkman, 1-1. That fastball was buried around the knees, and the very first pitch that Vigo saw, he jumped right on it. As the 1-1 on the way, another breaking ball right at the knees there. Duran didn't agree with it, but that call's been there all night, a ball and 2 strikes. So now Duran maybe taking a little bit of extra time getting back into the box. Now finally steps in. The slightly open stance from the left side, and the 1-2 on the way from Clark. Tried a backdoor breaking ball that time. That misses too far out, as that'll even the count at 2-2. Duran 3 of the 5 runs, and up until that home run was the only member of the Sweets to have crossed the plate. As the 2-2 now on the way, fastball fought off the dugout there, heads up. The dugout of the Grey Wolves says it looked like number 21 Drew Curtis had to jump out of the way of that one. Nonetheless, the count remains the same here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Duran is 1 for 1. A couple of hit by pitches, both off the arm of Shoup. Also a stolen base. There's a 2-2 pitch now on the way, sprayed back off the screen again, and Duran looked like he thought he missed a pitch there. Nonetheless, the count stays. Chris McCready waiting on deck is now 6 hits for the Walla Walla Sweets. 2 of them coming in the previous inning in the top of the 6th, and now, of course, the loudest one of the night from either team coming from Nick Vigo here in the top of the 7th. Now 2-2 again. Fastball that time misses inside, cannot get the call as Clanky tried to reach back and pick up the frame, but nonetheless the count runs full here as Jaron Duran has worked himself an 8-pitch at bat and really has been a hassle to get out for any of these Grey Wolf pitchers. Clark will try and do it here, and he does. Ring him up, strike 3 called. Fastball in the outside corner, and Duran does not agree with it. Well, that looked like a good pitch right there. Just a ball off the outside edge, right on the black, and Jaron Duran is finally retired tonight. And so a backwards K there for Duran goes to the second out of this inning as Chris McCready will now come to the plate. There's nobody aboard after that home run from Vigo cleared the bases, and now Michael Clark out of the windup again. Fires, and McCready sprays this one down the left field line, but will hook foul. So strike 1 here to McCready, who's 1 for 3. An RBI single back in the third, and a couple of ground outs, one to the first baseman Rodriguez, as well as the second baseman Perrin. That's now the second pitch of the at-bat on the way. Fastball, again, sliced over towards the left field line. Will get into the bullpen as McCready simply just tried to fight that one off, and it's 0-2 here to the Sweet center fielder. McCready batting .228 this season, 13 hits and 57 at-bats. Now add 1 more on there. He's got 14 hits, and the 0-2 pitch on the way. Tied him up inside. Looked like a back foot breaking ball there from Michael Clark as he retires the last 2 batters he faced via the strikeout. Unfortunately, it's the loud hit from Nick Vigo as he goes out of this ballpark. A 2-run home run to give the lead to the Walla Walla Sweets, now 5-3 as we take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. 5-3, the Sweets lead it. And so now we're set to go here in the bottom of the 7th with the heart of the order coming up for the Grey Wolves. It's Connor Zickafoos, Ryan Rodriguez, and Ryan Smith all due up here against A.J. Karkner, the right-hander in for the Walla Walla Sweets, who fires a strike at the knees to Zickafoos for the first strike of the at-bat. Has made a team-high 11 appearances. In fact, pitched on the team last year as well, kind of towards the tail end of the season, logging 9 innings. But so far, he's been nothing but spectacular so far in the 2016 summer as he misses outside there 1-1. Like I mentioned, 11 appearances, a .043 ERA in 20 2/3 innings. Has only allowed 7 earned runs. Or make that, 7 earned runs. And a total of 20.2 innings as he misses outside here to Zickafoos 2-1. Also has only allowed 15 hits while surrendering 7 walks and has struck out 19. As Zickafoos sprays this one over to the right side, past the diving Rutherford into right field. As Zickafoos has himself his first hit of the evening. And a good time here in the bottom of the 7th for the Grey Wolves. With a leadoff runner on, and now Ryan Rodriguez stepping to the plate. So Rodriguez will come to the plate with a runner on first in the form of Zickafoos as the Grey Wolves now trail 5-3. After responding in the bottom of the 6th with 2 runs of their own, the Sweets were able to counter with a 2-run blast off the back of Nick Vigo, the right fielder, and the 9-hole hitter tonight for Walla Walla. As the first pitch on the way to Rodriguez misses low and in, ball 1. And quite a shock. You can see it on the face of the pitcher, Michael Clark, who the home run was hit off of. Had not allowed a home run so far this season. And in fact, I believe that was just the 3rd home run hit by the Sweets in the entirety of the first half of the 2016 summer season. And so now Karkner misses upstairs, ball 2. And Ryan Rodriguez looking to find himself in a hitter's count. Has not been here tonight as he's struck out twice in a 2-2 counts. Also ground out to the second baseman in his last at-bat. But now finds himself even further ahead in the count with ball 3 being thrown by Karkner here. The fastball that misses low and outside. Like I mentioned, only 7 walks. And a guy that has shown the command as well as the effectiveness so far this summer for the Sweets. Not necessarily the closer, but kind of a go-to guy out of the pen that can pitch multiple innings. He's pitched a season high of 4. That came back on August 9th. In fact, that was last season, as I believe they tried him out as kind of a starter. So actually those stats converged so far this season in 2016 as Rodriguez takes a strike down the heart of the plate, 3-1. So far in this 2016 season has only allowed 1 earned run. Those other 6 earned runs were from his last summer outings with the Sweets. As now Rodriguez laces this one back up the box. Past the diving Kawahaha at shortstop and into center field. And back-to-back singles here for the Grey Wolves have them in business here to begin the bottom of the 7th. So Zickafoos will go to second base. And now Ryan Smith will come to the plate. Zickafoos and Rodriguez both collecting their first hit and hoping that trend can continue here for Ryan Smith, who is looking for his first hit, although has been robbed of one out near deep left center field by the left fielder, Willie McIver. Now it is in his last at-bat to begin the bottom of the 6th inning as he tattooed one out to deep left center field, but was hawked there by McIver. Also walked on 4 pitches back in the 4th and struck out back in the 2nd. As he'll look to put together a quality at-bat here against A.J. Karkner. Karkner attends Pikeville College and is going to be a senior there. 6'1", only 165 pounds. But definitely provides some punch with a relatively smaller frame, and now spots a fastball right there at the knees on the outside edge for strike 1. We'll see if the Grey Wolves use this opportunity to try and move the runners over. A clear sacrifice situation for the Grey Wolves that we've seen have been able to utilize the small ball tactics, much like the Walla Walla Sweets have so far in the second game of this 3-game series. We've seen the Sweets lay down multiple sacrifice bunts which is exactly what Ryan Smith does there and takes a fastball. Now back pick to second base, but not nearly in time and high as the throw from the catcher Dewar. In fact, Calahaw had to jump to get up in that one, as that one almost got into center field. So a ball taken by Smith that runs the count to 1-1. As Karkner from the stretch now has his sign. Checks Zikafus at second. Kicks and fires. Sacrifice bunt. Placed nicely down the third base line. Picked it up by Dewar over to first, and he's safe at first. Ryan Smith, a hard 90, and demonstrating the blazing speed we've seen so many times out in center field. Making stuff happen on the base pass to load the bases. 3 straight singles for the Gray Wolves. 1 through the right side, 1 up the box, and 1 just 5 feet from home plate down the third base line, seemingly to load the bases here for Gresham. And so now it's Will Matheson, the Westland product, as he hears a couple of cheers here from the local fans. He's going to be up with the bases loaded and nobody out against Karkner. First pitch on the way to him, up and in, as he'll bend out of the way of that one, ball 1. Again, a 5-3 ball game is that tying run aboard at second base with nobody out. A prime opportunity for the Gray Wolves and a chance you just don't see come along that often. Second pitch now on the way to Matheson as a fastball catches the outside edge around the knees to even it up at a ball and a strike. Matheson singled in his last at-bat through the left side. Also lined out to the right fielder, Nick Vigo, back in the 4th. As now the third pitch of the at-bat on the way. Fastball laced into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Connor Zikafus is going to score. Ryan Rodriguez is going to round third, and they're going to send him. Looked like the center fielder McCready had trouble with it, and he's going to score. Ryan Rodriguez using those long legs to get himself from second to home as the Gray Wolves plate 2, and now the game is tied at 5. And so I didn't quite see what happened in center field with McCready, but apparently bobbled it to the point that he earned himself an E8, and that is how Ryan Rodriguez is able to score from second. So not 2 RBIs there for Matheson, but 1 nonetheless. Both runs coming in to score. We got ourselves a 5-5 ball game here at Osland Field, as it looks like we might have a pitching change as well. So A.J. Karkner allowing 2 earned runs, had just allowed 1 through 20 and 2/3 innings so far this season. Nonetheless, gets tagged for 2 by the Gray Wolves as we got ourselves a brand new ball game, and we'll have a pitching change here at the Mount Hood Community College campus. So we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. Again, all knotted up, 5-5 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere. And so now we're just about done with that pitching change. It's going to be number 46, Grant Ford, a right-hander from San Jose, California, 6'1", 175 pounds, attending the University of Nevada, Reno, so UNR in the fall. As he's making his first appearance, in fact, for the Walla Walla Sweets. So now the first pitch on the way here to Josh Adams is slapped back off the screen. He just missed that one. As Josh Adams in his last at-bat collected a single through the right side, and it completely escaped me, but that is the very first hit for Josh Adams as a Gresham Grey Wolf. So congratulations to him, as he also came around to score his first run as a Grey Wolf. And so now Grant Ford from the stretch, 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball misses high and outside. It looks like he's got some real pepper behind that pitch. Kind of an interesting setup in terms of his stretch when he comes set. Sort of bends over at the hip. When he's taking that sign, he's got the right arm lingering down, much like Craig Kimbrell. But when he comes set, bends at the top, right over, as now the pitch on the way again, almost the identical spot up and outside. 2 balls and a strike here to Adams. 1 for 3, including that single. A couple of ground outs, one of them turned for a double play. That is exactly what the Grey Wolves are not hoping for in this situation with runners at the corners. They've tied the game up here in this inning, having scored 2, but nobody out as Josh Adams takes a big swing, but cannot come up with anything here to even the count at 2-2. Also, as for A.J. Karkner, did not even record an out for, according to the statistics, was the most dependable option out of the bullpen for Frank Mutz and the Sweets, as now Josh Adams flipped this one down the left field line, but is going to get out of play. I thought that one might have had a chance, as did Adams, as he was halfway to the first base line. But will simply be a foul ball, as he'll have to go back and collect his lumber. So like I was mentioning, Karkner, 20 2/3 innings, a .43 ERA coming into the game, had only allowed 1 earned run in those 20 2/3 innings, allows 2 here, both of them earned, and 4 hits against the Grey Wolves without even recording an out. And so now the 2-2 pitch on the way to Adams is fought off over to the left. It's going to get out of play, and we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Grey Wolves putting together some quality at-bats, taking advantage of, really, at least in these last 2 innings, the inability of the Walla Sweets pitching staff to throw strikes early in the count. What I mean is that the Grey Wolves have been in hitters' counts in the 7th, in this inning, and the 6th, as now Josh Adams goes upstairs and chases a fastball high, strike 3. As he goes down swinging for the first out of this inning. And that'll bring Ben Klenke to the plate. So far this evening, Ben Klenke arguably with the biggest hit on the night. A 1-out, 2 RBI double down the first base line that plated both Josh Adams and Will Matheson. That was in the previous inning, as Ben Klenke's got himself 2 hits, looking to stay hot. Sorry about that short pause. As we're just about set to go. Again, sorry, some technical difficulties there, as the pitch that was thrown there from Ford to Klenke was a ball high and outside. And now the second one on the way is a fastball in the inside corner, 1-1. So Ben Klenke with 2 hits tonight for Gresham, a double and a single. Now looking for more here in the 1-1 count. Roped into right field. That's going to sink down for a base hit. Collecting in his vehicle as 1-1 will score. And Will Matheson will head to second base. He'll have to hold up there. But again, Ben Klenke coming through huge for the Grey Wolves. His 3rd hit tonight. An RBI single to right field to give the Grey Wolves the lead with Ryan Smith coming in. Have a night, Ben Klenke. 3 for 4 at the plate. Also throwing out a runner defensively. He has simply done it all this evening. And now with Michael Breen coming to the plate with 1 out, an opportunity for the Grey Wolves to try and tag on some more. Having put together now another late inning rally. First pitch on the way here from Ford to Breen is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0. As Matheson, not a huge lead from second, but got those long legs, a nice secondary. Klenke from first, as now Breen, the second pitch on the way, takes a fastball. This one does catch the outside edge, 1-1. However, we'll draw Hayden Dewar out to the mound to talk to his young right-hander. as we've seen a couple of freshmen, I should say incoming freshmen, on the bump this evening for the Sweets. Their starter, Chris Murphy, of course, the left-hander, going to be attending University of San Diego in the fall, and now Grant Ford going to UNR as well. So now Deward back behind the plate, pitch on the way, fastball misses up and in as Breen gets out of the way of that one. 2 balls and a strike here to the Gray Wolf shortstop. He's 0 for 3, a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Although that ground out in the 6th inning did provide a productive out as he moved a runner over and now takes ball 3 here high. So Michael Breen trying to find a way to utilize this hitter's count, at the very least work himself a walk or find a way on base, with Curtis Perrin awaiting on deck. Curtis Perrin, we know, is an on-base machine, as Michael Breen pops this one up high on the infield. Likely going to be an infield fly rule, and that is what the field umpire Andrew Burks calls, but nonetheless the catch is made there by Jaron Duran, so there's 2 outs. And Breen visibly frustrated with himself there as he's 0 for 4 tonight. And an unproductive out in this situation. Now 2 outs here for Curtis Perrin and a runner in scoring position. So 3 walks on the evening for Perrin. His official stat line is just 0 for 1. Has a strikeout, but has been aboard 3 times tonight. As he now takes a fastball that misses low and outside here, 1-0. It was Grant Ford in his very first outing. At least those first couple hitters being able to shake off some first game jitters. He kind of got out of the way with Ben Clanky as he gave him a nice welcome to the West Coast League. As now Curtis Perrin takes ball 2 high and outside, 2-0. Has been someone in and around the zone, and that's really been the story tonight for the Sweets. 7 walks by Murphy, 1 by Henderson, so a total of 8. And on pace now for number 9, as Curtis Perrin takes a fastball that runs high, 3-0. Walked in a 3-1 count in the first, a 3-1 count as well in the 5th, and then worked behind from a full count in the 6th to eventually earn his base on balls. So now, 3-0 pitch here on the way from Ford. Fastball high and outside. That one not even close. As the first 4-pitch walk of the evening for Perrin. You typically don't tend to look at a player and glance at the statistics in terms of getting on base 4 times. However, in the OBP category, he's 4 for 5. And any way you want to chalk it up, Curtis Perrin has provided the offensive spark at the top of the lineup without having to even swing the bat. And so now the 9th hitter coming to the plate in the form of Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. as Grant Ford misses high. Ball 1. So now a total of 9 walks for the Walla pitching staff. Of course, the majority coming from Murphy and 7 walks, although also did have 7 strikeouts to kind of negate that. Also only allowed 1 hit as now Mitchell Jr. takes a slider that bends back in over the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Mitchell Jr. himself has got 2 walks as he's 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout, but also a stolen base. As Ford will work from the windup now with the bases loaded. And the second pitch on the way is a fastball that catches the outside edge. Checked at the 3rd pitch as the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes, and we start to hear the fireworks coming out here in Gresham. Some firecrackers. I never was really into the whole fireworks thing. Never really could differentiate between the different types of fireworks. As the 1-2 pitch on the way, check swing in the dirt. Did he go? And Andrew Burks calls it from behind the mound, the field umpire, and that is a borderline atrocious call there from Andrew Burks. Not even in a position to see the swing. And unfortunately, Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. will go down on strike. So we'll have to talk about that when we come back after this break. But nonetheless, the Gray Wolves, plate 3. Zicafus, Rodriguez, and Smith all come in to score from an RBI single from Matheson and an RBI single from Ben Clanky. Now 3 on the evening as we'll go to the 8th. Willie McIver, Cole Rutherford, and Kobe Kawahaha do up for the Walla Sweets as the Gray Wolves now have the lead 6-5. And so now we're just about set to begin this 8th inning as the first pitch on the way here from Michael Clark to Willie McIver is a ball that misses low and outside, 1-0. As we have ourselves a 6-5 ball game in favor of the Gray Wolves as Clark misses upstairs with a fastball 2-0 here to McIver. Back and forth this late innings have gone. The top of the 6th, the Sweets plated 1. The Gray Wolves fall in the bottom of the frame with plating 2 as McIver laces this one back up the box. On the backhand by Perrin. He stops, throws to first base in time. And a nice play there from Curtis Perrin, flashing the range. I thought that one was going to get up the box, but Perrin took away a base hit there from Willie McIver for the first out of the 8th inning. And so like I was mentioning, after one run from the Sweets in the top of the 6th, the Gray Wolves plated 2 in the bottom half, and then a 2-run home run by Vigo. The 9-hitter for the Sweets responded as Rutherford's first pitch swinging, and off the third baseman, Breen has it over at shortstop, and he goes to first base in time. What a play there from Michael Breen. I barely had time to analyze the play as Zikafus sat on that ground ball. It bounced off his forearm and kicked towards the shortstop Breen, who was charging. Caught it off 1 foot, and an off-balance play was able to go to first base in time to get Rutherford 2 down. Wow, what a play there from Michael Breen. As after those 2 runs, the Sweets got 2 more to go 5-3. And then in the bottom of this frame, rather the last frame, in the bottom of the 7th, the Gray Wolves plated 3 runs, concluded by an RBI single from Ben Klenke, now with 3 RBIs and 3 hits in this ball game. As the first pitch misses to Kauhaha, 1-0. And now Michael Clark has his sign, fastball right through the heart to even it up at a ball and a strike. And it looks like Jake Boyd beginning to warm up in the bullpen for the Gray Wolves. Although Michael Clark has 1 save on the season, really it's been Jake Boyd's role in that closer position. And now a check swing, ground ball over to the right side, fielded nicely by Rodriguez. Underhand flip over to first base, covering is the pitcher Clark, and he will make the play and record the out. So 1, 2, 3, the Sweets go down in this top of the 8th inning, and we'll head to the bottom of the frame with the Gray Wolves coming up. The heart of the order, 3, 4, 5, and Zikafus, Rodriguez, and Ryan Smith do up when we come back here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. And so now we come back to here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Connor Zikafus to the plate. The first pitch was a ball, I believe, on the inside corner. As the second pitch now on the way, Connor Zikafus tays it up inside, bends out of the way of that one. That goes for ball 2. Actually scratched that 1-1. As Jake Boyd continues to warm up in the bullpen for the Gray Wolves, hoping to come in likely or hopefully with an extra bit of run support. Again, the Gray Wolves had to lead 6-5 is this one a short and soft line drive right to the second baseman for the Sweets, Duran, as Jaron Duran is able to make the catch, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 8th. So now Ryan Rodriguez will come to the plate. He singled in his last at-bat. It was that trio of runs in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Gray Wolves. Zicafus, Rodriguez himself, along with Ryan Smith on deck, all came in to score. As Rodriguez scored on an error by the center fielder McCready. He was on second, and a single from Matheson up the middle as Rodriguez takes a fastball in the inside corner for strike one. A single from Matheson up the box, and McCready had a tough time seeing the play from the perch here as the nightfall has kind of scattered across this Mount Hood Community College campus, and now breaking ball goes low and inside here. It's Rodriguez, ball one. However, McCready had trouble coming up with it, and Rodriguez alertly was looking at Justin Barkus, the third base coach, who was able to send him once he saw that McCready had trouble with it. And Rodriguez, very athletic, very long strides, was able to leg himself all the way from second base to score, as he now takes a fastball low and outside 2-1. Also, Ben Klanke in that last inning played the final run in Ryan Smith, who is coming up next. And now the 2-1 pitch on the way here. That one spiked about five feet in front of home plate and gets back off the screen here. 3 balls and a strike here to Rodriguez. And this was the exact count where he singled back up the box in his previous at-bat. His first hit of the night, as he's 1 for 4. He's now hoping to find himself on base one way or the other in this 3-1 count as the pitch is all the way to the backstop again. That one looked like Hayden Dewar tried to maybe frame that a little too much, as it didn't seem that far outside, but nonetheless simply went right by him, and Ryan Rodriguez will go right to first base, ball 4. So now with the runner on first base and 1 out, it'll be Ryan Smith coming to the plate. He's 1 for 3. A single, a fly out to left, a walk, and a strikeout. As Smith always takes his time getting in the box. Got to have that mindset going in, especially against a wild pitcher like Ford. Got to be able to have the reactionary swing right there as Ryan Smith takes a fastball in the outside corner, 0-1. So we'll see if the Gray Wolves try and do anything on the base pass here with 1 out. Some speed on first in the form of Rodriguez as Ford fires a strike on the knees right on the outside edge. And Smith again kind of having a couple words for the home plate umpire, Tim Gerkman. And it looks like also some action in the Walla Sweets bullpen. A left-hander. Don't quite have the number yet, but we'll try and get that for you as the 0-2 pitch misses high. Up around the letters here to Ryan Smith, who takes ball 1, 1-2. Outfield playing no doubles, kind of pinching the lines as well as a little further back than they normally would be, as this slider doesn't quite bend far enough down as Smith takes that for ball 2. A good eye there. Also the third baseman, Nyquist, kind of pinching that third base line. No extra bases here as the runner takes off and Smith swings, pops this one up over to the right side. It's going to get out of play, though, as Rodriguez will head back to first base. Count remains 2-2. And so the Sweets have gone through now 4 pitchers in this ball game, or with Ford being the 4th pitcher in his 2nd inning of work from the stretch. And now the delivery here, 2-2, slapped into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rodriguez rounding second, and they're going to hold him there as the throw coming in from right from Vigo is going to be cut off by Kauhaha. But nonetheless, back-to-back base runners here. A walk for Rodriguez, and now the 2nd hit of the evening for Ryan Smith. Puts a runner in scoring position with Will Matheson coming to the plate.
Number 33, Will Matheson.
And Will Matheson, 2 for 3. The only time he did not reach base was a hard line drive that was caught by the right fielder Vigo back in the 4th. Has had singles in the previous 2 innings in the 7th and the 6th. One of them was an RBI single. The other one allowed him to come around to score for, at the time, the tying run of the game. And so now an 0-1 count here to Will Matheson. as he takes strike one right down the heart of the plate. So runners on second and first. Rodriguez at second, Smith at first. He's going to have a big lead over there. Any ball to the gap would surely be able to score Smith from first base. Now the pitch on the way. Check swing there for Matheson did not go around as he takes ball one. And we continue to hear the fireworks out here in Gresham. They're really going now. Started around 8:30. Probably not going to go until about midnight. As this pitch misses low here, 2-1. Would have surely been nice to have some fireworks here at the ballpark, but you understand. Also not sure if they're even allowed on this campus, although from the sound of it, they seem to be coming right across the street over near 7th or 16th Street. So nonetheless, here from Ford, 2-1 pitch on the way, and that catches the outside edge as Matheson shakes his head. And the strike zone kind of has been a little erratic tonight, although the most arguable call came in the last inning to end the 7th when Mitchell Jr. check swung. Didn't even come close to going around, but the field umpire called it a strike. And now Will Matheson is strung up on strikes. No objection there as it was over the outside half of the plate. And that's the second out of this inning here in the bottom of the 8th.
Left fielder, number 32, Josh.
So a backwards K, the second one, or rather the third one tonight for Grant Ford in his very first appearance. Not a bad outing. 2 walks, 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts. So kind of has been a bit erratic, but nonetheless not a poor performance as it'll be Josh Adams coming to the plate hoping to avoid an inning-ending out. Now the first pitch on the way, popped up over the left, out of play, and foul. It's going to go for strike one as Josh Adams is 1 for 4. Strikeout, ground out. Actually 2 ground outs, one of them being a double play, but also a single and a run scored. That came back in the 6th. Him along with Matheson were plated on that 2 RBI double from the man on deck himself, Ben Klenke. And so Adams looking for possibly his first multi-hit performance as a Gray Wolf and takes a fastball on the inside edge. That one looked good right there. Spotted on the corner and a nice frame by Dorr for strike 2. I mean, these fireworks are getting real close. Honestly wondering when they're going to end at this point and what the finances allowed these fireworks to be able to go for what seems like around 30 to 45 minutes sporadically. It's now the 0-2 pitch on the way to Adams upstairs, and it glances off his shoulder. Josh Adams got out of the way of that one as it was heading for his face, and fortunately was able to bend out of the way just enough to only clip his shoulder and kind of make it a glancing blow, as now Frank Mutz will head out to the mound, and that very well could be the last pitch for Grant Ford. We mentioned that lefty throwing in the bullpen. Not quite sure who that was, although in the Gray Wolves bullpen, it's going to be Jake Boyd that's likely going to get the 9th. And so during this pitching change, we'll go back to some of my favorite moments, kind of researched throughout the day on this 4th of July. And so on the same day that Lou Gehrig that I mentioned earlier, the same day he gave that speech, there was almost a better single day and one of the better performances in MLB history. The Red Sox Jim Tabor became one of just 13 players all time to hit 2 grand slams on the same day. He did it in the 4th and the 6th innings of the nightcap of a doubleheader against the Philadelphia Athletics. And the second of those slams was an inside-the-park home run. So an inside-the-park grand slam, you don't hear about that too often. As now we're just about set to resume play. Frank Mutz is back in the dugout. Grant Ford has his sign, and Ben Klenke steps to the plate. First pitch on the way to Klenke. Belts this one down the right field line, but gonna get foul. I thought that one might have had a chance as Ben Klenke has been on absolute fire tonight. A long foul ball, but nonetheless, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2 singles and a double, as Ben Klenke has been a one-man wrecking show here this evening on the 4th of July. Hoping to get in a couple more runs at least here in this situation. As the 0-1 on the way, a changeup that misses inside. Evens it up at a ball and a strike. Michael Brina waits on deck, and Jake Boyd continues to warm up down to the bullpen for the Gray Wolves. although it does seem about set. Kind of that sidewinder action from Boyd, and that's who we'll get in the ninth as the 1-1 pitch on the way to Clanky. Changeup misses upstairs, 2-1. And so if Frank Mutz came out to the mound, did not pull the trigger, and now no action in the bullpen. It looks like it's going to be Grant Ford's game to get out of or extend in this situation as the 2-1 now on the way. Fastball misses low and in. Snagged by Dewar. That one almost got back to the screen, but nonetheless is going to run the count 3-1. And that is simply a place you do not want to be against the hot-hitting Ben Clanky in a hitter's count, giving him a free swing in this situation, understanding that if you throw ball 4, that's going to result in a run. And that is exactly what happens here. Fastball misses too far inside, and Ben Clanky will take it. Easiest RBI in the books as he'll walk down to first base and collect his 4th ribby this evening. Josh Adams will move up to second. Ryan Smith will move to third. And Ryan Rodriguez will come in to plate the 7th run of the evening for the Gray Wolves. They now have a 2-run advantage, 7-5. And so now Michael Breen, the only member of the Gray Wolves not to reach base tonight, would like to see him do that here as he takes a fastball off the outside corner for a ball 1. Couple of flyouts, a ground out, and a strikeout. And really that last at-bat was the one that hurt the most as he popped out with the bases loaded and 1 out, and now takes a fastball that apparently catches the outside edge for strike 1. And unproductive out there as he left a couple runners aboard. Then eventually Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. unfortunately ended that inning on a controversial strike 3 call, as now Michael Breen slaps this one back off to the right of the screen here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 2 outs. The bases loaded here in a 7-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th, and the Gray Wolves had really come out of their shell offensively after struggling in the early innings, the first 5 against Chris Murphy. And now the 1-2 pitch on the way, slapped to the right side. That's going to get into the outfield. 1 run will score. Here comes Josh Adams all the way from second base. The throw gets away from the catcher Dewar, not in time. Josh Adams scores, and it's 9-5 Gray Wolves. And that has got to feel good for Michael Breen. He advances to second base on the throw, along with Clanky moving to third, with Josh Adams coming in from second base and Ryan Smith scoring. Another 3 spot for the Gray Wolves as they have plated now 8 runs in these last 3 innings. And so it's going to be Curtis Perrin, the leadoff hitter, coming to the plate now. And the first pitch on the way to him is a fastball in the inside corner, strike 1. So it's very interesting how these innings have worked out. Connor Zickafoose led off the 7th and the 8th. Although in the 7th he led off with a single. Both times he has come up to plate at the beginning of an inning this game, the Gray Wolves has scored 3 runs as Perrin swings through a fastball quickly 0-2. And so Grant Ford, now working from the windup, definitely has seemed more comfortable in that position through his past 2 innings. Now fires a fastball low in the dirt, blocked by Dewar. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, Perrin looking like the Greek god of walks tonight. In terms of getting on base, 4 for 5, although is just going to show an 0 for 1 in the stat book. 4 walks, 3 of them drawn in the previous 3 innings. As the 1-2 pitch on the way swung on and missed, so he goes down on strikes there, but not before the Gray Wolves plate 3. Ryan Rodriguez, Ryan Smith, and Josh Adams all come in. And an RBI walk there from Ben Clanky. He now has 4 RBIs tonight as we will go to the top of the 9th here at Osland Field. It'll be Jake Boyd on the mound to try and save this one for the Gray Wolves and close it out. And coming up for the Walla Walla Sweets, it'll be Nick Nyquist, Hayden Dewar, and Clayton Ayers as we take a break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. And the Gray Wolves now had the lead 9-5. And so now we're ready to begin this top of the ninth inning with the first pitch on the way here from the closer for the Gray Wolves. Jake Boyd on the mound against Nick Nyquist. As ball one is thrown low here to the Walla Walla right-hander, playing third base tonight. And now Jake Boyd tries to bend a slider in that time, but misses. And so now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside that time, and Jake Boyd didn't agree with the call as it looked like he was trying to work there. Ben Klinke framed it nicely, but could not get the call from Tim Gerkman, whose strike zone has kind of been all over the place tonight. Nonetheless, 3-0 pitch on the way. Catches the outside edge, 3-1 here from Jake Boyd to Nyquist. Boyd making his 5th appearance on the summer season, 5 2/3. Just 1 strikeout, although no runs surrendered so far from the 6'1", 175-pound right-hander as he gets a fastball called in the outside corner. Nyquist didn't like it, but let's be honest, that was somewhat of a makeup call for the second pitch of the at-bat. As one way or the other, we were going to have ourselves a full count. 1 save on the season for this side-widening Gray Wolf as this one gets in the dirt and low. Can't be blocked by Klinke, but nonetheless, we'll go for ball 4 as Nyquist has himself a walk, his second on the evening. So Nyquist now 0 for 2. A couple flyouts and 2 walks as that'll bring Hayden Doer to the plate. He's 0 for 3. The ground out, a line out to the right fielder Mitchell, and then struck out back in the second. So Ben Klinke will go out and have a quick word with the Lynn Benton Community College right-handed product from Ojai, California. Also some action beginning to brew a bit down in the bullpen for the Gray Wolves, as Carter Book appears to be down there warming up a little bit. Nonetheless, first pitch on the way here. Slider right there at the knees to Hayden Doer, strike 1. Like I mentioned, only 1 strikeout in his 5 2/3 innings, so not necessarily a power pitcher, but going to induce a lot of contact and try to use that side-winding kind of funky release to try and throw off these hitters as he bends a slider in again. Strike 2. So now Jake Boyd working quickly. 0-2 pitch fought off over towards the right side of the dugout of the Walla Walla Sweets, and that'll go for a foul ball. Count stays at 0-2. Clayton Ayers awaits on deck as Jake Boyd is essentially at this point facing the bottom of the order for the Sweets. And now a slider swung on, but gets in the dirt and gets away from Klinke, as that one's going to be a drop third strike as there was a runner on first, so Hayden Doer retired regardless. And kind of a break there for the Gray Wolves, as that one had absolutely no chance of being corralled by Klinke, nor even coming close to the strike zone. It seemed like that one was even on the grass. So Nyquist will advance on the wild pitch, but Hayden Doer is down on strikes for the first out of this ninth. So now, like I mentioned, Clayton Ayers, the designated hitter, coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2. A walk and a stolen base. That was in the 7th as he scored the 4th run of the ball game for the Sweets. Also a ground out and a line out. So now the first pitch on the way with 1 out. Ball misses inside. As we have 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Runner on second as Nyquist takes his lead. And now, fake bunt showed here, pulled back that time by Ayers as he takes ball 2 low. Since there was a runner on first, Hayden Doer not able to advance to first base, although he easily would have gotten there. Now the 2-0 pitch from Boyd to Ayers on the way. Slider can't quite bend far back enough inside, and it's 3-0. In fact, up until that free base handed out to Nick Nyquist, Jake Boyd hadn't allowed a walk as a Gresham Gray Wolf. Had allowed 4 hits, but nobody has reached base as this fastball does not get the outside corner, and that's 2 walks tonight here for Jake Boyd. The second one coming now to Clayton Ayers. He's got 2 walks this evening. So now Nick Vigo, he's coming to the plate as he has easily the loudest hit tonight and definitely the most important one for the Walla Walla Sweets at the time, as he blasted a 2-run home run from the 9-hole out beyond the Gresham Ford sign in left center field. Was high into the trees, as that one definitely cleared the fence. Was not a gimme in terms. Now it definitely was a no doubt home run, as Jake Boyd misses outside here with a fastball 1-0 and is struggling a bit with his command here. Now 5 balls thrown in a row. So at this point, I believe would be in line for the save with the 2 runners aboard, as this one is taken low again, and that's 6 in a row here from Jake Boyd. And Boyd's last outing against Yakima Valley that came on the 28th. Went 2 2/3, allowed 1 hit. No strikeouts, no walks, but most importantly, no earned runs. And that's really been his game so far. It does have 1 win, a 1-0 record that came back on June 17th against Kelowna, as he misses again with another fastball that runs low 3-0. Got that 1 win by going 2 innings, allowing 2 hits, but no earned runs against Kelowna. He's kind of that middleman branching between the 9th inning, as he now slips a strike in over the heart of the plate, 3-1. That's a good sign. His first strike thrown in 7 pitches, and these fireworks continuing to rumble here for the past half an hour. Has a 3-1 pitch now, and that is low apparently. Clanky wanted the call, as it looked like he tried to bring it back up towards the knees, but I guess was ruled low by Girkman. And now 3 walks in this inning have loaded the bases for the Walla Walla Sweets, with the tying run coming to the plate. And certainly not something you want to mess around with if you're Justin Barkas, as Connor Boot continues to throw down in the bullpen. Throwing there to Matt Cairo, as we got a couple of lefty-on-lefty matchups, and maybe he might be coming in to face Jaron Duran. And a wise decision here by Ian Sanderson to go out to the mound and at the very least provide some time for Boot to warm up in the bullpen, while also trying to give some confidence back to Jake Boyd. So in the meantime, we'll go back to those fun facts about the July 4th day. In fact, there was a hitless holiday back in 1983, as Dave Righetti put his name in the history books on July 4th, 23 years ago, tossing the 166th no-hitter of the modern era. 2 years removed from his Rookie of the Year campaign, Righetti became the first Yankees pitcher to throw a no-no since Don Larson's perfect game in the 1956 World Series, and the first Yankees left-hander to achieve the feat since George Mogridge achieved it in 1917. The game, in fact, was a 4-0 win for the Yankees and was punctuated by a Wade Boggs strikeout in the 9th. No small feat, considering Boggs hit a Major League best .361 that season and struck out only 36 times. In addition, only 16 pitchers have ever reached the 3,000 strikeout plateau, and 2 of them did it on July 4th. One of them being Nolan Ryan, and the other one being Phil Niekro in 1980 and 1984. There's a couple of fun facts for you, as Ian Sanderson is back into the dugout. Jake Boyd back on the bump, and we're ready to resume play here against Jaron Duran, as the first pitch on the way. Fastball bounces in the dirt, 1-0. So Nick Vigo on first, Clayton Ayers on second, and Nick Nyquist on third base, with Jaron Duran coming to the plate as the possible tying run here in this bottom of the 9th inning, or rather the top, as Jake Boyd gets a strike in over the heart of the plate there to even the count at 1-1. Hoping that trend can continue. A possible ground ball situation. Definitely would enjoy a double play here with 1 out, as the Grey Wolves have a 4-run lead, 9-5 here in the top of the 9th. 1-1 pitch on the way. Check swing, and he does not get the call. Tim Girkman hearing some boos here from the Gresham faithful, as that strike zone has not only been erratic, but also seems to have shrunk here in this last couple of innings. Not only for the Grey Wolves, but also for the Sweets. It seemed like the pitcher Grant Ford was also getting squeezed a little bit, as this one is slapped back off the screen. Foul, 2-2 here to Duran. And Grant Ford simply wasn't getting some calls on the outside edge that we had seen the starter Chris Murphy or even Cole Henderson, the second reliever, coming in the 6th inning get. So some frustration here on both sides tonight with this Tim Girkman strike zone. So now 2-2 count. Boyd comes set, kicks and fires, swinger over to the right side, and it is chopped foul. Past the outstretched glove of Rodriguez. Count remains 2-2. Duran, so far, has only been retired once tonight. Struck out looking back in the 7th as he has scored 3 runs, 2 hit by pitches, as well as a single and a stolen base. So now the 2-2 again. And this one is laced into right field. Mitchell Jr. got a beat on it and cannot make the play. It gets over his head out near the Police Association sign. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. We'll send the throw to third base, and it is not in time. Not in time as Jaron Duran hits a 3-run triple here in the top of the 9th. That scores Nyquist, Ayers, and Vigo all the way from first. And that one's going to hurt. Jake Boyd gives up a triple here as we have ourselves a 1-run ball game with a tying run at third base and just 1 out here at Osland Field. Unbelievable. Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. had no chance to get that ball. It did look like he took the first step back, was the proper route to the ball, just was stung too hard there by Duran. Although, I got to wonder at this point, especially with the situation of the ball game and the tying run being at the plate, why you wouldn't have the outfielders at the very least playing back, giving up, or trying not to surrender the extra base hit. Playing no doubles in that situation would have made sense, but Mitchell Jr. and along with Josh Adams and Smith in center field seem to be playing relatively in. That one might have came back to hurt him as now it's McCready coming to the plate with a runner on third. First pitch on the way, misses low here. Ball 1 here from Boyd. It was now surrendered 3 runs, all of them due to walks. They're coming after free bases being passed out. Nyquist led off the inning. Bases loaded, base on balls as he now misses again here, 2-0 to McCready outside. And then walk Clayton Ayers after a strikeout on 4 pitches. Walk Nick Vigo on 5 pitches. And then Jaron Duran in a 2-2 count as McCready now takes a fastball right down the middle, 2-1. Unbelievable. Jaron Duran having a night reminiscent of Ben Clanky at this point. 3 RBIs on 1 swing. And now the 2-1 is laced out to deep left center field, giving chases Adams. At the very least, run is going to score and tie this ball game as Adams is able to make the catch. But not before the Walla sweet strike for 4 here in this top of the 9th inning. And we have ourselves an entire new ball game here at Osland Field, all knotted up at 9. Unbelievable. Chris Crady nearly had himself extra bases if not for Josh Adams being able to hawk that one down. But Jaron Duran coming up huge for his team in that situation with the bases loaded and 1 out as now Willie McIver will come to the plate. First pitch on the way to him is a strike thrown right down the middle, and that's simply all Jake Boyd has needed to do at this point. Just throw strikes, induce contact, especially with a 4-run lead. The one thing you didn't want to do is give up those free bases as this one is grounded to shortstop. Breen makes a nice play on it over to his left, throws to first base in time, but not before the damage is done. 4 runs here in the top of the 9th as we go to the bottom half of this frame. We thought that the Gribbles might not have needed to come up to the plate, but nonetheless will have to get the job done. Jeffrey Mitchell Jr., Connor Zicafus, and Ryan Rodriguez when we return here on Gresham Grable's Baseball Live. It's all tied at 9. And so I didn't think I'd have to say this, but we come back to here in the bottom of the 9th inning with the Gresham Grables and Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. coming to the plate. They had the lead 9-5 there in the top of the 9th, but the Walla Walla Sweets struck for 4. 3 of them coming off of one swing off the back of Jaron Duran as Mitchell Jr. takes a first pitch fastball high and outside from the newest pitcher for the Sweets, number 23, Justin Brule. And so hopefully the Grables can find a way to come back and win this ball game as Mitchell Jr. takes ball 2 here, high and outside. Brule, 6'2" left-hander from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, as the Mustang again misses outside here in 3-0 to begin this bottom of the 9th inning. And that's exactly what Jake Boyd did, was put runners on base, and that's what ended up hurting him. As Brule fires again, and this one misses up and in. 4-pitch walk here to begin this bottom of the 9th, and some say that walks are contagious, and they certainly have been tonight. On the side of the Gresham Grey Wolves, a total of 5 dished out, and as for the Walla Walla Sweets, a total of, at this point, looks like 11 walks dished out, 7 by Murphy, as it seems like we're having a little bit of trouble with point streaks, so we apologize for that. Now Brule, first pitch on the way to Zikafus, who tries to sacrifice bunt, but misses down the third base line as it gets foul, 0-1. And so now Zikafus steps back in the box, 0-1 count. As a second pitch on the way, sack bunt right back to the pitcher, Brule. He'll go to second base, and it is in time. An execution failing the Gresham Grey Wolves again as Mitchell Jr. is out at second base. Connor Zikafus cannot get the sacrifice bunt down, although finds himself aboard on a fielder's choice. So just seemingly all the sails taken out of the Grey Wolves boats right now, hoping to find some sort of spark off the bench, and maybe that's why Justin Barkis is going to make a couple of moves here. So Zikafus is out. It looks like Zach Johnson, number 8, coming in to pinch run at first base. And now pinch hitting for Ryan Rodriguez will be number 21, Drew Curtis. So Ryan Rodriguez's night is done. He goes 1 for 4 with a walk, a single, 2 runs scored out of these 9, and it really bounced back nicely after striking out his first 2 at-bats and a weak grounder to end the 5th. Was able to bounce back with a single back up the box and a nice 5-pitch walk earned, and eventually coming over as Drew Curtis now swinging at the first pitch, hits it to the first baseman who tries to go to second base and throws it right into the back of Zach Johnson. Propels off the back of Zach Johnson, sliding into first base as it looked like the shortstop, Kauhaha, was not even trying to just make the play and get the force out at second, but was trying to turn the double play, and as a result, the throw ran a bit inside, was unable to recover, and bounced off the back of Johnson. So there's 2 runners aboard here in the bottom of the 9th. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Drew Curtis, as now Ryan Smith will come to the plate. He's got a couple of base hits, 2 for 4, with 2 singles, fly out to left, and a strikeout. As now with 1 out, we'll get a pitch here from Brule. On the way, fastball catches the inside edge, 0-1. I mean, these fireworks are relentless here at Austin Field, and unfortunately for the Grey Wolves, it seemed like the fireworks have bent both ways, as this one is chopped over into the dugout of the Grey Wolves on the left side, 0-2 here to Smith. The Grey Wolves have plated 8 runs since the beginning of the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th. However, 4 runs on a fireworks offensively coming for the Walla Walla Sweets here in the top half of this frame as Smith sprays one down the line towards the right side, but foul and stays alive. And so now Brule in the 0-2 count. Comes set, checks the runner at second. That's Johnson, and now Ryan Smith will step out, readjust the batting gloves quickly, then right back in the box. So would likely see Carter Book if this game was to go to extra innings. Hopefully for the Grey Wolf faithful here, does not have to get to that point as Ryan Smith A beautiful take right there on a breaking ball, dug low in the dirt. Looked like he was going to offer, but was able to pull back in time. And so now 1-2 as Burrow has his sign. Checks the runner, now kicks and fires. Backdoor breaking ball, not far enough though, as that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This game has simply been a wild one. Appeared originally like there was going to be a pitching duel between Chris Murphy as well as the Gresham starter Aaron Schaup, but after those starters came out of this ball game, it's all broken loose. As this one is released down the right field line, that's going to get fair. Over comes around Johnson from second base, and he will score, and the Grey Wolves win. They walk it off on the Walla Sweets in the second game of this 3-game series. Water's flying, everyone's out of the dugout, and the Grey Wolves have themselves a victory they most certainly earned. Nearly gave it away there at the end, but nonetheless were able to recover, and their offense bails them out as they win it 10-9 here at Osland Field. And so Ryan Smith collecting his 3rd hit in 3 at-bats in the last 3 innings. A walk-off RBI single to score Zach Johnson, who came in to pinch run for Connor Zickafoose. And what an overall team effort by the Gresham Grey Wolves. And it's going to take a while for me to take you through this one on our post game here after a extremely wild finish from start to finish. Like I mentioned, right before that walk-off, it seemed like we were going to have ourselves a pitcher's duel between the starters Chris Murphy along with Aaron Schaup. After both of those starters went 5 and 6 respectively, in came Michael Clark. He gave up a run, as well as the relievers for Walla. Cole Henderson gave up 2. A.J. Karkner, who hadn't allowed more than 1 earned run in 20 2/3 innings, allows 3 earned runs without even recording it out. And then Grant Ford, who comes in for the last inning in 2/3, allows 3 earned runs there in the 8th before finally Justin Breel comes in and allows the walk-off earned run. 10-9, the Grey Wolves win it. This one was absolutely a fantastic finish. A great ball game competing all the way around from both teams. And really a spectacle to watch here on the 4th of July. Couldn't ask for any more types of fireworks on and off the baseball field, as they have yet to stop here in Gresham. But what a wild one, as we'll take you through that quickly. Jaron Duran started off the scoring in the first, hit by a pitch, then after a pickoff attempt went awry, advanced to third before an RBI groundout from Chris McCready was able to bring him in. Then we go to the third as Jaron Dunn again, with 2 outs, singled, was able to steal second base and came in on an RBI single from Chris McCready. Then after that, no scoring really throughout the entire game. It was 2-0 up until the 5th when the Grey Wolves got it going. Ben Klenke started off with a 1-out single, advanced to second base after Curtis Perrin was walked. And then a wild pitch allowed Ben Klenke to come in to score after he reached third base. So that was how the Grey Wolves got on the board. Then in the top half of the 6th, Jaron Duran again got things going, was hit by a pitch, came in eventually on an RBI single from Cole Rutherford, and the Grey Wolves had to respond at that point. They were down 3-1. They tied the game up in the bottom of the 6th. Will Matheson singled, followed by a Josh Adams single, and a two RBI double by Ben Klenke down the first base line allowed both those runs to come in to tie this ball game. From that point, those Sweets responded with a 2-run dinger in the top of the 7th from Nick Vigo to also play Clayton Ayers that gave them a 5-3 lead, to which the Grey Wolves responded in the bottom of the 7th with 3 runs of their own. Zickafoose singled, Ryan Rodriguez singled, Ryan Smith singled, and then an RBI single from Will Matheson and Ben Klenke, along with another wild pitch, allowed all 3 of those runners with the bases loaded to come in, and they took the lead 6-5. And then the Walla Sweets went quietly in the top of the 8th, to which the Grey Wolves added on 3 more runs to take the lead and a commanding advantage, 9-5, as Ryan Rodriguez walked, Ryan Smith singled. Of course, he had the walk-off single in the 9th, which we'll get to, but then after Josh Adams was hit by a pitch, Ben Klenke walked in a 3-1 count to bring in a run, and Michael Breen singled through the right side to bring in 2 more runs, which gave them a 9-5 lead and seemingly put the game out of reach. But Walla was not done in the top of the 9th inning, and closer Jake Boyd on the mound for the Grey Wolves. It all really started with the base on balls. Nick Nyquist, Clayton Ayers, and Nick Vigo all reached on walks before Jaron Dunn, with 2 strikes, hit a 3 RBI triple out beyond the right field wall that got down. Unfortunately, the Gray Wolves weren't able to play it in fast enough. Duran reached third base, and all 3 runs scored. And then the very next pitch, Chris McCready hit a sacrifice fly out to left center field to tie this ball game at 9. From there, it seemed like all the momentum was on the side of the Sweets, but the Gray Wolves were able to recover and grind this one out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Mitchell Jr. got it started with a 4-pitch walk. Connor Zickafoose hit into a fielder's choice, and then at that point was pinch ran for. Drew Curtis hit into a fielder's choice, but the throw was low at second base, and E3 allowed Zach Johnson to reach second base, to which that point Ryan Smith sprayed one down the first base line, barely a fair ball by just a couple inches, to give the Gray Wolves a 10-9 victory here on the 4th of July. So we hope you enjoy listening to this game as much as we enjoyed calling it. Here from the Gresham Ford broadcast booth, I'm Evan Giddings as the Gray Wolves pick up a 10-9 bottom of the 9th walk-off victory here at Osland Field in the second game of this 3-game series. Tomorrow night on Tuesday, 7:05 start. Same teams as we play the rubber match here at Osland Field, and we hope you'll join us, whether it be on your YouTube channel or here at the field. Nonetheless, the Gray Wolves, again, 10-9, they walk off on the Walla Sweets. Here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live, I'm Evan Giddings. It's been a pleasure.